Hello, Giant Bomb universe. I know y'all are a bunch of talented, kind, and attractive bunch of folks, but do y'all dream? Maybe you've dreamed about a blog full of artistic renditions of professional wrestlers as desserts. Have you ever wanted to make that dream a reality? Well, you're in luck, because Squarespace is the platform to make those dreams come true. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that is incredibly easy to use. You can turn that idea of wrestlers as desserts into a website, no problem. Even if you don't have any experience building a website. Showcase your work, write and publish blogs, and other assorted content. If it behooves you, you can sell products of all kinds with Squarespace behind you. Perhaps prints or gift cards to purchase your prints. You can do it all. They've also made domains easy to get as well, and also analytics to make sure you're learning about what's working and what's not with your wrestler dessert blog. Head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial when you're ready to launch. Use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your purchase of a website or domain. Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, October 11th, 2022, and this is the Giant Bombcast, episode 759. I'm sorry, I'm just overcome with emotions because the world is finally healing, everyone. Blink 182 is back together. That's right. Tom DeLonge, he's stopping his search for aliens, and he's searching for his friends, and everything's gonna be fine now. Everything's gonna be fine now. Take off your pants and jacket because Jeff Grubb is here.
Wow.
Howdy. That's right. I'm doing good. Who else is here?
I'm doing great. The enema of the state, Mike Minotti, is here, our special guest.
Wow. Already with butt-related jokes. Good.
It's a Blink joke.
And he's always feeling this. And then as soon as I got onto the plane, I forlongingly looked out the window and said, I miss you. Because I was thinking of Jeff Bakalar.
Somebody check on Matt Skiba. That's all I have to say. Blink 182 has this whole announcement this morning, and not one mention of Matthew Skiba, the sweet little Alkaline Trio boy who, didn't he do 2 records with them?
He did 2 records with them. Yeah.
Check on sweet, poor, innocent Matt Skiba. No one has heard from him this morning. Everyone should give a shit about Matt Skiba. Find out if he's okay. I hope they just told him before they announced this on Twitter. Someone please check on sweet little Skiba. That's all.
Do you think he rolled up to the studio and then saw Tom sitting in his chair and was like, wait, there's a Sharpie line through Skiba and it just says DeLonge now or whatever that dude's last name. Oh man, And then they were mid hug as well. And then he brought donuts that day to the studio.
Look. I'm not the biggest Blink 182 fan, right? I'm just
it's okay.
not.
I am.
They're fine. I think Dude Ranch and I think Cheshire Cat and Dude Ranch are very good albums.
It all sounds like nonsense to me. Enema of the State, Dude Ranch, Cheshire Cat. Man, I wasn't listening to popular bands in the 90s. I was listening to video game soundtracks like a real nerd.
In the 90s, yeah. I respect
90s?
that. That's cool.
That was harder to find.
That's how cool
I was going to say, how'd you find it? That's amazing.
They had those things in EGM, pay too much money to get that 4-disc Final Fantasy 6 CD thing.
You imported it from Japan? All right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. You may.
I just turned 31, and this thing has been bugging me for forever now. Is it okay to mail cash?
So I tried to mail cash and not just cash, also a few coins to order something, and the mailman got real mad at me and he didn't take it. And I was a kid, so it's okay that was silly.
Be comfortable with losing the amount of money that you are sending through the mail, in cash, is what I have to say to that.
Why wouldn't you send a check?
Money
Well,
orders.
okay, because I was you brought up EGM, Mike, and they used to have most video game magazines, right? They used to have like the giveaways for like, hey, you can win this entertainment center that's all decked out and stuff. And then my little dumb butt, I would cut it out. I'd get a stamp from my mom because she worked in an office, and then I would put in the $5 entry fee and then ship it off, and then I would just patiently wait for like months, never hearing anything back, assuming like, oh, I didn't win. Or I would assume that it was illegal or it was bad to mail cash. And then one time things got a little tough financially back at home that I thought it was my fault because I kept mailing $5 in the mail and losing it.
Well, we had to cancel Christmas this year.
Yep.
little Jensen sending too much of our cash to EGM.
Damn it, EGM. God. So is it okay? I mean, maybe now I could send a money order, I guess, but I don't even know how to get one of those.
You just go to the grocery store, just say, hey, I got to send some money to EGM. And they're like, sir, that magazine does not exist anymore. And
we don't exist anymore as a service. You're speaking to a cutout.
Money doesn't exist either. What are you talking about?
So my dad, over the weekend, we threw a retirement celebration dinner for him.
Good old Lou.
That's good on him.
Yeah, Sweet Lou's retired, and we were going around the room telling funny stories about him because that's what you do. And I had the idea of asking the room. It was about 25 people. I was like, "Who here thinks my dad has ever used an ATM?" Right? And like I was 95% sure that the answer was never. So it was basically just like yes or no. Has Lou ever used an ATM? Yes or no. 25 people surveyed. 23 of them said no.
Did you have a whole family feud board too going on? Or?
Yeah. And the correct answer was no, he had never used an ATM.
Wait,
ever.
he just always goes into the bank? Is that what it is?
He loves his tellers. He loves going in and talking to Jared or Kelly or whoever the fuck. And that's it. It's the best. There's nothing like wasting 90 minutes of your Saturday morning getting $100 in cash from a
Would he go to the drive-through and like use the pneumatic tubes? No,
we don't trust those tubes, Grubb. Who knows where those tubes go?
I trust those tubes with
it's magic.
everything.
It's dark magic.
Who knows?
Does he just get like $100 bill, or is it like in weird increments at least?
No, so that'd be sick if he just like walks away with like a real crisp $100 bill. I genuinely think my man is just like budgeting out how much money in cash he's gonna spend that week and just like wants the cash. I don't know what he does.
He's never been like caught off guard like somewhere like at like I don't know, a museum or like an amusement park, and it's like, oh, I need some cash. I guess I got to use this ATM because there's no bank tellers around.
No, that's a good question, but he's never. No, that's the thing. I guess he always just carries way more cash than anyone should carry in their pocket. Wow. He's probably walking around with $700 in cash like a psycho.
Does he got like a Costanza wallet too, or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And he sits on it. So he sits on it. So even when he walks, 40 years of sitting on a real large ass wallet, you drift to the right a little bit when you're walking.
Oh yeah,
just because your butt is that. So you're
like manual scoliosis right there.
Yeah,
you're just doing it yourself. Yeah,
it's probably 3 to 7 degrees to the right. He's constantly moving that direction. It's sad, really.
I have a Costanza wallet, but I wear it in like my front pocket. So,
okay,
I look
smart
very
man.
stupid because I have this thing jetting out from
You're
my
a human
thigh.
kangaroo, so you have one in the front.
Right,
in that front pouch.
Yeah.
But,
I get it.
I get sick comfortably at least.
Does anyone have a ruler and their wallet handy to measure right now?
I do.
Mine's clocking in about half an inch.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah,
half inch?
I can tell mine's
Half
bigger
inch.
than yours. I think bigger than
Yeah.
that.
Whoa! Don't do this now.
We're stretching out Mario pretty hefty over here.
Okay, that's it.
I
That's
think
a
mine's
nice
bigger
hand wallet.
and thicker.
Yeah,
Half inch.
Half inch. Okay.
Ooh,
me
you
too.
got a thick boy there, Grubb. Look at that.
That's a
Thick
big
boy.
boy.
It does not go in the
I
back
have it on me.
pocket.
Let's see. All right,
Good.
There we
That
go.
goes. He just bites down on it.
Oh,
Wow, how long have you
Minotti.
had that wallet, Mike?
This thing's old. I think the dog got it at one point. You can see where it's kind of frayed. It's like
I like it though. I like it.
Do you guys carry cash?
I carry
cash.
Sometimes I'll carry like a 20 and some fives.
I I remember to get cash for the trip, and that's the first time I've gotten cash in a very long time. I'm kind of debit card all the time. Well, credit card now, because debit card's not secure, I've learned.
Don't use a debit card if you can afford it.
Yeah.
For the longest time, and this got me into trouble multiple times. I forgot that a friend put a Polaroid of her face in my wallet. And then, when you have a new partner or whatever, they go through your wallet for funsies. It's always a weird thing to explain. Yeah, is this not a thing that happens to everyone else?
It's part of the vetting process, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there she is. Still keep her back there. There you go. Thanks, Softs.
I really got caught with something on my wallet.
I'm still left. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to
show it again, Mike. I can't. No, just show it again.
Up.
Yes.
Oh no,
what happened?
Do we have to blur it? Do I have to blur something? Is there any sensitive info?
Does
that look like a condom? There's like an O-ring.
Apologies to my brothers who are watching. Don't worry about that, guy. That's candy.
What
is that for like what? Oh.
Look, you don't know.
I don't.
I call it the optimistic condom.
The wishful condom? You got a wishful condom in your wallet?
It's the
case.
It's condom : the secret. Like, you just put the energy out there and it'll happen. Yeah.
Look, you guys got to be safe and ready,
I woke up today thinking, like, I don't know who's going to be at the Bombcast. We didn't get the chance to have a meeting and plan this out. And then,
it couldn't have worked out better.
It couldn't have worked out better. Mike Minotti, thank you for being in my life.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Man, I almost got away with that. I even thought about it. As I put it back in, I was like, oh shit, there's that condom thing. Hopefully no one saw that.
I mean, geez, I hope it's not expired. Oh my God.
It's got goofy on it.
Don't ask how old it is.
Now I think that this was a bit. Now I think Mike Minotti is just going to be like, yo, what's up, Giant Bomb audience? What's popping, Anyway.
That's always been my bit. Sexy boy, Mike Minotti. I'm just the sexy boy. Ooh, I'm not your boy toy.
I mean, that's what we call you behind the scenes here at GBHQ, is the Heartbreak Kid, Mike Minotti.
That's right.
Exactly. HBK, let's go.
Christian is pointing out he has two in his wallet.
Yeah, we gotta make the figure eight, the infinity side.
Sure.
The infinite sexy times.
Right.
All right. Well, before we get to games, the Great Giant Bombathon happened.
Yes, it did.
And
how about
that was a wild day that felt like 3 days. I feel like we were there in New York for quite a while, but we also weren't there. It didn't feel like that long at all.
No. It flew by.
Yeah. How was it for y'all? How was the Bombathon? I can speak to my experience, but we'll get to that afterwards.
It was good. It was fun. It was great to kind of get together and see the energy just kind of immediately take off, and everyone have great ideas and everyone step up. And I'm like still learning things. Like, apparently at one point, Tam was just whispering ASMR into the mic and telling people how I was eating pizza. And I'm like, oh, really? I got to go back and watch that. That sounds like fun. So I don't know. It was just really great to get together and see, oh, this does really work. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, if we do this a couple times a year, it's going to be ideal. It's going to be really fun. Like, I really like working from home, but like getting together with everybody and doing some fun stuff obviously is a good idea.
Most stuff. Yeah, it was not the most ideal set of circumstances production wise. Maybe next time I've made a couple mental notes as what to pack next time. Maybe we'll spend a little bit more time with the audio, just rather than like 2-3 hours prior to showtime. But shouts out to Will from the GameSpot team, because
that's a good boy.
Fantastic man. I was already drowning in cables, but I would have been just cables in my mouth and all of my front pockets and back pockets without that man helping me out. Yes, Will, Chris, pretty much thank you to the whole Giant Bomb team. It's just one of those moments where I'm like, we all have a function and we all do it really well, huh? Look at that. Look at all of us. Look at all of us.
You guys did great.
Thank you, Mike.
It worked out in a big way. I think I was really pleased to see the fearlessness from Jeff Grubb that we all knew he had in him, but he was so anxious and excited to demonstrate said fearlessness in the city of Brooklyn.
I want to make it clear. I was very afraid of everything I was doing. I will just
say no, you goober.
Just drenched
I'm
in
not
fear.
proud of him. I make money off of Jeff Grubb. I need him alive.
Yeah. Well, you know, like the problem is, and like you alluded to in the pre-show, Mike, you know, everything that comes out of Dan's mouth is not always like, you know, bespoke,
shouldn't always do
like
it.
Sort of brilliance, right? They come from a weird place. And
it's okay to say no, Jeff.
Yeah.
Eventually, I mean, listen, that lemon really set a tone for the day, and I'm like, I got to do something to get this lemon out of my mouth, so I'm gonna eat this chip. Honestly, I was just happy that the wrestling punishment worked out for during the hype train.
Yes.
I'm like, well, you put him in a dunce cap, and whoever came up with the idea with the bag and decorating, like it couldn't have been better, and that made my day. So. Dan just getting punished for being himself. That's exactly what I needed. So I was good.
Has your wife seen the video of you walking around in the Gizmo outfit, almost getting run over?
I mean, who says she has to see it? Like, there's no law.
There is no law.
Fair enough.
The same law that applies to not having to listen to Dan definitely applies to you not having to show that video. There was one moment when you were in the Gizmo suit and you were sort of like straddling the bike lane there on I forget what street that was there. And a scooter person or some like whizzed by you, and from the feed
scooter.
Feed that we were watching, and it was closer than I would have liked, where I just sort of did that like thing like that, you know.
It would have counted as a near miss in a burnout game, Grubb. That's how it felt to us.
Totally, you would have gotten points. You would have gotten 400 points and a little more turbo.
I only saw one scooter. I did see it. I was just like, he'll go around. It's kind of was my thinking. And he did. We were good. Dan's like, those eye holes are huge. He's fine. I could not see shit, really. I mean, I saw a scooter.
What are you talking about?
But like, it's like the sun would like hit the eyes and reflect, and then it like was just actually kind of blinding. I had to like force my face up to these eye holes. They weren't really even eye holes. It was just sort of a really shitty mesh. And so I had to force my face up. So if you ever saw me like pushing the costume against my body, that's what I was doing. And then I could kind of see.
In Disney World, the costume people, they have handlers. They have at least one person without a giant
Will was there. Will came to save me.
Will was also instructed to stay far away from you to film you.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because Dan's in chat and he's like, he saw fine, the eye holes were fine. It's like, would you have been saying the same thing to the police? Like, would you have been saying the same thing to the paramedics on the scene where Grubb like dislocates a shoulder? Like, oh, those eye holes were fine. Sir, back away from the ambulance, please.
I mean, listen, if you're on a scooter and you hit a giant gizmo walking in the street, that's God saying we all have to be punished here. Because how do you not miss that?
Yeah.
I was even in Dan's Twitch like the day before you guys left or something, and I literally begged him, don't make Jeff do anything that's going to get the police involved. He just has a bad like record with the police.
I don't believe that. I believe Jeff could talk his way out of a...
No, he's been
talked
tased.
myself out of plenty. Yeah.
He's been tased.
He's been
I've also been
tased.
tased. I've also been tased. Yeah.
You are like, were you well, I could see someone tasing you with the Sting makeup, like for sure. If you were headed towards someone like, no, it's cool, please just listen to me. Like I could understand someone being like, nah, I'm going to tase you.
I was just respecting the host of the party's constitutional right to not have to subject themselves to a legal search and seizure.
This is getting case talk.
I said, let me just go get the person who owns this place to give you permission to come in. And they did not want to wait. And so they grabbed me and tased me. And then I'm like, I'm not resisting arrest. And then they kept tasing me. And then I was like, no shit. Yeah. And I was I'm like, afterward, I'm like, I can't believe you guys tased me. And that was mostly my energy.
This is police abuse, and it's not funny, but it happened to Jeff Grubb, so I can't help but laugh. So excuse me.
Right.
Well, at least someone is finding levity in all of this. You know, that's good. I'm down with that.
That's downplaying it. Yeah.
One of my favorite things is that everyone else on the team got to experience After Midnight Rory. Because
oh my God, that was such a delight. Yeah. It was such a delight.
No one knows the pure joy of doing an extra life. And then Matthew Rory, like reverse Cinderella-ing at the stroke of midnight, and then becoming
goes Gremlin mode. He really just goes Gremlin mode.
He goes Gremlin Cinderella mode, and I love it because he's such a fantastical person as is. But then just like the delayed laugh that you'll hear in the other room from Matt, and when it's like a joke will land, and then 5 seconds later, it's great. It is the purest joy in the world.
I love it.
It had been many years since I had seen Rory, and it was definitely an E3, and I got a taste of that kind of energy for sure. But it wasn't until he arrived a little late that first night, and we were sort of setting up in that fucking in the
know what you're
suite,
gonna
and
talk about.
We were like, trying to figure out. We were having problems with the TV. We were thinking about what we could do for like a plan B. Rory's up there. He's saying hi to everybody. He's sort of like doing his stretching thing that he does, and he's kind of like breaking in a little bit conversation wise. And then he starts to tell us like, all right, I'm gonna call it a night, and I don't know, maybe in the morning get a haircut or something. I was just like, wait, what? You're gonna get a haircut here in Brooklyn? Like, is that that's the first thing you're gonna? Okay,
it's like he said it, and then I'm like, maybe I should do that. There's a lot of like,
should we all get haircuts?
Should we all go get a haircut? Is he onto something? Yes, man.
I think we should have gotten matching tattoos because of that event. We should have just got it in the doodle zone.
In the
doodle zone, baby.
Did a bathrobe photo. We were all just like put Rory in front and stuff. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Doodle Zone is always in play. I would have gotten Dan's paper bag emote fucking tattooed in my Doodle Zone.
Behind like jail bars. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When are people going to be able to watch this 15-hour video that we need to upload?
It is the VOD is still currently up on twitch.tv/giantbomb. It is ready to go on the website. I'm currently waiting for it to finish processing on YouTube because apparently YouTube does not want to do its job and process a 14-hour long video because currently it's still sitting at a pretty 360p versus the goodness of at least
Lord's
1080
resolution.
And you just never know. Like YouTube could sometimes take like 2 days with that. Like you just never know.
For all intents and purposes, we could probably publish it on the site. I would just like it to be easier on folks to watch across the board. But yeah, it is still
a lot of people finding that VOD on Twitch. A lot of people watch it there. So shout out to everyone who's been catching up on everything over the last couple of days. So
yes,
it's been nice to see those numbers.
And shouts out to the Giant Bomb Discord for constantly clipping and making fun GIFs and chops of virtually any and everything. Let me tell you, Lucy James just has such a good ability to just like slide in and then
she did that
just
multiple times, and every time it ruled.
Chef's kiss, like wow, just like the spatial awareness is off the charts. Definitely, as soon as the VOD goes up, definitely check out the game of Jenga because it is probably. I was sleeping 2 floors down when this segment kicked off. I could hear the bedlam happening from 2 floors down that I have no idea how we never got kicked out of that hotel. It's fantastic.
No, not even any complaints. No one ever came to say anything to us.
No.
Yeah,
there was full-on families staying on that floor that did not bug us once.
You'd be surprised. The noise really didn't travel. Cement floors and ceilings goes a long way, for sure.
Yeah.
But like you would get off that elevator, you wouldn't hear anything. You wouldn't hear any distant chaos. So we
say that never
lucked out.
sleeps. They can't complain, right? That's their slogan.
Yeah, Brooklyn was pretty sleepy.
Let me tell you, Brooklyn's in bed by 10. Okay.
Yeah,
Brooklyn's definitely.
It reminded me of back home here. I was like, oh wow, everyone's going to sleep. Okay, me too.
It's all just New York to me.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was too, Mike.
All right, well, I guess we should talk about some video games, huh?
Let's do it.
These are the video games. I got to make that shorter. That's too long. It's too long. It's killing my vibe. It's killing like the flow of everything.
You need me to talk about my condoms again? Get the vibe back up?
Get the vibe back. Yeah, the condom vibes.
I can't put that. I cannot put that as the episode title.
Mike's condom.
I think that might flag the video on some platforms and podcast distributors.
How about Mike's wallet rings? That would be a bit more ambiguous.
Okay,
wallet
circles.
Okay, Will, you know what? I'm writing that down on the list right now.
Guys are gonna be so proud.
We got there's a lot of already great ideas for an episode title. Just like Jeff Grubb has been playing a lot of Super Mario Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, I figure I should talk. I've been playing so much of this because my kids have fully become gamers. Like, there's no other way of putting it, and it's happened in the last 2 weeks. They like the Switch. They like playing video games. Emmy has liked a bunch of the Mario ones, but recently they're like, oh, this weird one where like Bowser's mad. Like, can I play this? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I just kind of let them to it, and I come back, and they're still playing. Like an hour later, they're just running around. They're not doing much of like finding the cat shines or anything like that, but they're doing a little bit of it. And they can definitely both, at this point, both the 3-year-old and the 5-year-old, they'll play at the same time. I got one on the Switch Lite, and the other one will play on either in the TV or the Switch OLED. And they can both like fully do platforming now. They can like walk along skinny planks, and they can jump up and get up to place spaces. And if they can't get up, they kind of understand why and what they need. Like, oh, if I get the cat suit, I can climb up there. I'm like, oh wow, when did this happen?
Nice.
It's just happening right now. So about every 30 minutes or so when they are playing, I'll get hey, I need help, and I'll go sit down, and then I'll kind of take over for a little bit. I'm like, oh man, Bowser's Fury rules. I'm just gonna play this for a while. So that's still a real good game. So I've just kind of accidentally found myself falling into playing a lot of Bowser's Fury over the last little bit. Yeah, please.
Yeah, do you know how many cat shines are in that game?
I actually don't, which is ironic since that's why I'm in Nintendo jail.
Oh yeah. So this game gives me. I love this game. It gives me like PTSD because in my review for it, I said how many cat shines were in it, and apparently that was one of the big like no-nos in the embargo. And Nintendo got very mad at me for saying how many cat shines. I think I said how long it took me to beat 2, and they were like, "No, you weren't allowed to say that either." So So ever since then, this was a while ago now, but our GamesBeat has not been able to get early Nintendo game review codes.
I thought I would escape it, and guess what? I didn't.
No, you're still there.
Yep, we're in our own Nintendo jail.
Long memory.
Long memory over there.
Just had to turn to the left of the cell, and it's like, oh, hey, it's us over here, Jeff.
Yep, exactly.
I did my
we live here now.
They're mad at you over in Kyoto, which is like, to me, their way of saying like Shiggy is personally upset with you.
Right. We'll never forgive you.
You're on a nickname basis with Miyamoto, Mike.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, I feel like people roll their eyes at that now. I had a dog named Shiggy and all that stuff, so like I was real on board with calling him Shiggy. So I can't, even though I think it's cringe now to call him Shiggy. I bet that's.
It reminds me of Shingy. It reminds me of Shingy.
That's the first thing I thought of.
The AOL guy. I think he was AOL for a while. It was like digital prophet. Yeah,
he's a digital prophet. We've only got 11 or 12,000 of these walking the earth. Okay, please show some respect. Thank you.
Oh man, Shingy.
A what?
Digital prophet. That was his job. That was his job title.
What does that mean? Is that
do you guys know Shingy?
He is made of ones and zeros.
Wait,
okay?
Shingy or Chingy?
No, it's not
Shingy.
That one. Shingy. Yeah.
He's got
that
big
sounds
hair.
Like an STD. That's why you need to have the condom so you don't get
That's
the
why,
shingles.
exactly.
You don't want to catch Shingy.
Yeah, David Shing. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Hammond of Texas.
He's sort of like a this like spiritual techno guy who like doesn't seem to serve any real purpose aside from like it's like the digital version of like a sage burner, you know, like that kind of thing.
He's like, in the future, instead of buttholes, you'll have a USB port there in that spot where your butthole was. And then everyone's like, ooh, okay, all right. He must know what he's talking about 'cause he said it with confidence.
Is a butthole not a USB-C? No, I'm going to stop.
It's a USB-B.
I was going to say USB-C because there's no
you try to put
wrong
it in one way
to...
it doesn't fit, and you turn it, and then it does fit, yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. AOL.
Whoa,
cool.
Okay. I'm the asshole. All right.
So, cat shines. How many of them were there?
I'll get you out of this one, Jan. To be clear, I have a bone to pick with Miyamoto as well. So we'll get to that later if we have time.
Are we talking about the trailer? Is that in the news at all, Grubb?
Is it?
I didn't put it in the news because I figured, let's talk about it right now. Let's do it. Let's talk about that movie.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I've been speaking a lot about this the last 48 to 72 hours with people who have asked me if I've seen the trailer, and the conversation continues. The more I think about it, the more I cannot get over how much of a fucking disrespect it has been to Mr. Martinet over this entire situation. Like,
Amen,
how,
brother.
like, when we first watched it on the stoop there, I was like, wow, that's fucked up, right? And then the momentum began to build and snowball to the fact I cannot fucking believe they disrespected this man on such a global stage. Like, how cataclysmic this entire situation is. The more I hear that stupid fucking line of dialogue, where it just like, how I'm not gonna be able to watch this movie and not just be pissed half the time. I feel like I'm trying not to overreact.
Damn it, Jeff.
Well, look,
You've been quiet.
A broken clock is right twice a day, right? What can I say? Every now and then you're gonna find a couple freaks who are like, "It's awesome," right?
It's not awesome. And I know Jeff hates this. It's fine. I had the nightmare scenario.
It's less than fine.
It's fine.
I think it's bad,
maybe,
but it's whatever.
I don't think it's bad. I think it's just a guy doing a Brooklyn accent. And as somebody who liked the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and even like that live action movie in some ways, like, that's fine. That's good enough for a Mario voice. Again, I watched.
It's not as good as either of those, even though it's not even as good as Lou Albano.
Yeah, it's one line. Who knows?
I'm less precious about, like, I don't care that it is Chris Pratt. Like, the Chris Pratt thing is just a fucking terrible coincidence, right? We're just like, oh, and it's also a super, weirdo douchebag. But here's the thing, right? Like, everyone says to me, oh, Chris Martinet's voice wouldn't have played for a whole movie. Motherfucker, he is a, 4 decades veteran voice actor. He could have toned it down. It wouldn't have been like the eats a meat for fucking 90 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he's an actor. He would have figured it out.
Mickey Mouse has a voice that kind of like goes up and is it's
whoa. You got 2 Disney adults here, Jeff. Step off.
At least Dan's not here.
No one cares what Dan thinks. Also, it's not a problem. Like, fucking Mickey's voice is not a problem, right? Like, it's established, right? Like, and he's also not starring in this movie where he's the main character. This is the problem, is that it is, and you don't need a celebrity to sell this movie to anybody. I'm sorry.
No.
Mario's a bigger celebrity than Chris Pratt.
Well, but sometimes things just
40 times over.
It's ingrained that way. And like, again, because I'm a Disney adult, I just have seen too many of these kind of movies. Like, it's such a gimme. They're going to get celebrities to do these things. I don't think they even know why they have to anymore.
No,
they just know that they do.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's done.
I do appreciate that. At least the one good thing about Space Jam 2, okay, there's 2 good things about Space Jam 2, is that 1, they got the normal voices that normally voice Bugs Bunny and company to do the voices for Space Jam 2. 2, the good thing is a song at the credits. That's really cool. But yeah, I don't like this trend of all these animated movies and it's like, let's get a big star. Because I was thinking, oh, I don't remember the Angry Birds movie having a star-studded cast. Pull it up. No. You get Josh Gad, Peter Dinklage, Bill Hader.
Right. And that's my point. You do not, like, sometimes you do need star power. Sometimes you do need Bill Hader to come in and voice. You do need Danny DeVito to come in and do the voice. But here you don't. Here's one of those things. You didn't really need it for Sonic either. Ben Schwartz is lovely and he does a great job. But I think there's a total exception to the rule here where Mario is bigger than any of the celebrities that are in this film, and you just didn't need it. And I hate the fact that they led saying he's a cool guy. We had to get the cool guy to be in the cool movie. No. Okay? If anything, that is 100% wrong.
Someone chat said it's like the way Kojima is with celebrities, and it does very much remind me of replacing David Hayter with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes.
Because the dude got into 24. Because Kojima's like, I watched a whole lot of 24 last week. Can we get Kiefer Sutherland on the phone? What can we make happen there?
I have a compromise.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, Jeff. What did it remind you of? I want to know.
I was losing my train of thought there anyhow, Mike, so you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll come and say that. Here's my compromise. So we're talking about Mickey. Walt Disney was the original voice of Mickey Mouse. That established all that, right? So you had the creator doing it. Let's just get Shigeru Miyamoto to be the voice of Mario in the movie then. And then all's going to be fair.
Can't be any worse.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Folks are pointing this out in the chat. Jack Black, very good.
Oh,
Totally.
yes,
Fine.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can't wait for that man to sing in that song.
You're
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And the French voice for Mario actually sounds pretty good. People were pointing out like all the other like languages that
Regions,
you can hear,
yeah.
all the other like those Marios sound pretty good. Now, again, it's like the point is not necessarily that Chris Pratt is good or bad. It is just kind of weird to not use Charles Martinet. But whatever, the movie's going to come out. We're going to have to deal with it. They made it very clear when they announced the cast back like originally. They're like, and Charles Martinet will be in the movie, so he'll get his due.
Is he Wario, or is he just going to be like like asshole?
Koopa Trooper number 8. Like, come on, what the fuck?
He's probably gonna be like 10 characters, I bet. Actually,
maybe he's gonna reprise his role as that dragon from Skyrim for some reason.
Smaug.
He's gonna swoop in.
Smaug. Okay, that'd be sick.
It looks really good, though. I was a little bit worried about what it would look like.
Yes.
That opening shot with like Bowser and like the mech castle airship thing. Oof. And the penguins.
The 64 penguins.
Yeah. When the penguins, I watched our reaction, and when the penguins came on the screen, everyone just like lit up. Everyone was so happy. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I recognize these these penguins from different Mario games, and they also just like look cool in their own right here. It's just neat. It's a cool looking movie so far. So. I'm excited. My kids are very much like I got a bunch of DVDs for the DVD player in the minivan. Among those was Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I think, and they're not going to actually want to watch this. I'll get them Barbie and I'll get them the My Little Pony movies. I know they like that. And we put in Mario, and then we try to put in Barbie, and they're like, no, put it back on Mario. So my kids are ready for Mario stuff. I showed them the trailer, and my 5-year-old did think that he looked funny. She wasn't worried about the voice so much. She's just like, he looks weird. That's not what Mario looks like. She got over it on the second time she watched it, and she's now watched it 10 times, and she's just mad that the movie's going to take until April. And I realized, man, that must feel so long to you. That's like your entire school year. For me, that's just going to fly by. I'm like zooming towards death, kid. But you like, that's like you're almost most of your life. So yeah, I just kind of can't wait for it to get here so my kids can watch it.
The face was harder for me to get used to, just like the smaller proportions. But yeah, and I'll get used to it. Movie's gonna make $1 zillion.
Oh yeah.
What's the like? So Sonic was what, like $450 million worldwide
Sonic
or something
2
like that.
For the first one,
Sonic 2. Sonic 2.
Sonic 2 specifically did very well.
Yeah, they're gonna make 11 of those too. You know,
yeah,
like,
Warcraft.
Warcraft is actually the biggest one, right? That was like what, like
it made a lot in China or something.
Really?
Yeah, so that was at like 600 million or something like that. Yeah.
Jesus, that came and went over here. Damn.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't care over here. I was on the red carpet for that. That was fun. That was like
Oh.
one of the weird things they got. They had the Leroy
Weird flex,
Jenkins
but
guy
okay.
there.
Do you have your
Like,
wallet
hanging
on
out
you?
with us. Yeah, and everybody. He was a good sport because guess what? Everybody wanted him to say. And he did
Yeah,
it
I
all
bet.
day long. He was just happy to be there.
Dan wants to know how he gets on the red carpet for the Mario movie. Maybe we can try and make that happen. But do you guys think that this Mario movie makes $1 billion worldwide?
What does that mean in 2023?
That's like
It's doable. It hasn't been done by a video game movie.
It's like you'd have to be about as big or bigger than any of the Minions movies.
Easily.
So that's kind of where I'm
I
at.
think
Yeah.
so.
I think it's going to be bigger than any of the Minions movies. Actually,
That seems reachable.
I think it's probably gonna reach Endgame numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
so that's
I
like
don't know
$2
about
billion.
endgame numbers. Endgame?
I think we're discounting how universally
That is the big thing that's going. That's the thing that worked for Top Gun Maverick. Is it appealed across these generations, and Mario has even more of that. So
But
literally everyone alive knows Mario. So,
but everybody knew Pikachu. And Detective Pikachu, it made $433 million worldwide, which almost seemed kind of like, I don't want to say underperforming to me, but like
they're not
why
making a
there
sequel,
wasn't a
though.
sequel right away. Right?
Yeah.
They're not making it. Did okay, but like considering that was Pokey-Mon and there was good buzz about that trailer. I remember, right?
Yeah,
and it did fine.
I still think Mario's it's not a. I think it's more universally recognizable.
Does home box office count? Like buying it on streamers, does that count towards the greater box office?
Not for this number that we're talking about.
Okay.
No.
Just
Because I think that box office number has changed in the last 5 years too.
It has, but we still have anomalies like Top Gun Maverick and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's why
and like that most recent Minions movie did, like, is probably going to make $1 billion worldwide. I mean, I could look it up, but
it has hurt Disney stuff. Like Lightyear did kind of like bad box office wise, and people are trying to figure out why. It's like, well, people are used to like some Pixar movies just coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I also thought Lightyear was like very mid in terms of Pixar.
People did not know what Lightyear was. They did not know what it was.
There was a lot of things with Lightyear that confused people. I don't know if that new Disney movie, what Strange World or whatever, is going to do very well either. There's not like a lot of buzz about that.
I did think the Pikachu movie was pretty damn good though.
I liked it a lot.
Minions Rise of Gru is at $927 million. And that's yes.
I think it'll totally get there. Yeah.
I think it'll get to $1 billion. I do.
I'm confident. It would. Yeah.
There's so many weird factors these days, but it could.
Because if Jurassic World Dominion can get to a smooth Billy, the Mario movie can do that.
A failure for that.
I agree. I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe saying endgame numbers is a little bit like aiming too high, but it will definitely attain the same numbers as Top Gun Maverick.
Right. I think like Endgame's almost like it's got to be close to number one overall. If we're talking about worldwide. I think right now. No, Avatar still is actually. Avatar still is at 2.9 million, and Endgame has 2.8 billion. Excuse me.
Well, that number also got inflated because it got re-released.
Right.
Interesting.
All right.
The number one animated movie, one more real quick, was The Lion King, so 1.6 billion worldwide.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn is right.
It had re-releases and shit too, though. Like
that was a cultural phenomenon when it came out. Yeah. I mean, it was the biggest thing ever when Lion King came out.
I still cry when I hear The Circle of Life.
Same.
Just like I cry that I am still playing this game, Disney Dreamlight Valley, keeping it in the Disney family. I didn't bust out the Steam Deck on the flight to New York. I busted it on the flight back here to San Francisco. And boy, let me tell you, I was really hoping that this would not play offline. I was hoping that it would have to sync to like some cloud server to make sure I wasn't like spoofing anything or whatever. But no, it loaded up completely fine. And then for a good 3.5 hours, while my seatmate was just watching Top Gun Maverick, I was just picking vegetables, talking to Mickey and talking to Goofy. I strongly dislike that this game is eking its way closer and closer to my overall top 10, because it is. Because it's just like one of those farming games, and I don't think I've realized the zen that comes with any of these farming games, and I just wanted to bring this up one time because Mitch is here. I'm sorry, Mitch. Yeah. Mike. God damn it.
Don't
are you stuck with it?
Come on.
I answer to both now. Don't worry. I've been trained.
No, Mike. See,
look,
when you do that, he wins. When you do that, he wins.
He's gonna stop. He's already won.
I gotta say, Will, our amazing PA for the Bombathon, he did take me aside and he was sort of like, "Hey, what's wrong with Dan? Like, why does he not know? Can he not know what someone's name is?" It really hurt him. He doesn't know this, but he really hurt him. So, just want you to say you're enabling that kind of behavior.
Let's bring that up to
Mike.
HR. Let's bring that up to HR.
Yeah, that sounds like an HR thing.
I don't work here. Although I've been told that I am somehow the Giant Bomb MVP according to Reddit, but I don't work here.
That means you work here.
Yeah,
that means you work here.
I deserve respect.
I did, if folks are curious, I did move all of my berry bushes and trees into the optimum conditions to properly pick everything. No,
I didn't know
Dreamlight
that.
Valley, try hard. Wow.
100%. Because let me tell you, I've never played a Stardew. I played a little bit of Animal Crossing, but didn't get really into it. I was just picking up carrots, selling them to Goofy. I was living the provincial life, y'all, and I was completely fine with it. It was great. Cooking up fruit salad with Remy, and then just digging up holes and finding new little fun shirts and shoes. It was great. I hate it.
You know what I learned watching your Let's Play is that I made a mistake making a male avatar.
You can change it anytime, Mike. You can change it anytime.
I need that Disney badonkadonk.
Yesterday, my partner was working on some stuff, and I was like, oh, maybe I could fire up a game. And then I fired up Disney Dreamlight Valley, and then I looked behind me, I'm like, she can't know. She can't know. She can't know my shame.
So, why does it feel like you're trying to hide the screen? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like, no, I'm covering up like a 27-inch screen. It's like, no, there's nothing to see here.
This is how I sit. This is how I play.
Why
Otherwise,
does your character have rings in his wallet?
if she saw what I was actually playing, I might be grounded. Jeff
Mike Minotti's Rings of Power. Here we go.
Oh my god.
The rings of power. Oh my god. I love it.
He's writing it down. I've been playing Grounded. That's right. Thanks for asking, Jan. I started. I've only played solo so far. I think I like it quite a bit, but I also could tell I really want to be playing with others. And I think the interesting thing here is how that actually ends up working is, from my understanding, I looked into it a little bit. It is like a save that you end up sharing, and then it like syncs later. So if I start the save, you could join me, and then I think that creates a new save where we are together. And then if I were to go offline and you wanted to continue that save later, your game would just know how to pick that up and carry it forward. And then if I were to come online to get into that same world, I would just then join you, and then our saves would sync. And it's like, oh, that's really well done. It's not like some server that we rented or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, they've ironed out a lot of the kinks and making sure that people can play together. So I think that's probably going to be my next step, is trying to convince some of y'all to get on here, because I think a lot of us might really enjoy it. Everyone kind of knows what Grounded is at this point. It is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, survival game. They really play up those elements, though. They really know what they're doing, where it's not just it's a game you could spoil is the thing I was surprised about. Like, there are big moments that you're going to come across. Like, wow, I can't believe I'm seeing this in this game. Or you're in the backyard of this house and you're these little characters. It would be fun if they did that. And a lot of times they do end up going in that direction. So it's like, it's fun to see those moments realized. And yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's kind of if you've played a lot of survival sims, you'll get into it pretty quickly. And so I was like making a lot of progress pretty quickly, but it's like then I'm like also getting overconfident and trying to go on longer excursions. And then of course there's the giant like Black Widow spiders that just come out of nowhere and destroy me, and that's pretty scary.
So it's not just straight up a horde style game. There's like survival components as well. It
is straight up just another survival sim like Ark or Rust. It's one of those. It just kind of has a more like laid back vibe because of like where you're at, until you come across the gigantic spiders that they destroy you. It's a pretty tough game too. I'm playing on medium or whatever, normal, whatever it is, and it's pretty challenging. I've not died, but I've gotten very close, and managing my thirst and hunger meters has been pretty challenging.
My thirst is off the charts.
Yeah, I was going to make that joke for you.
Yeah.
Dang it.
So that's why I'm like going between this and Dreamlight Valley. You get it.
Do you befriend an ant who then emotionally scars you when he dies trying to protect you?
The ants are very friendly and cute, and they come up and they squeak at you. And then you need to kill them first, for some of the stuff they have, and then they attack you, and you feel real bad. That's what happened to me. So yeah, you're basically right on cue there.
Is there like a bumblebee that falls in love with a human woman, and he just won't stop telling bad jokes?
Yeah, and he's like, "What's the deal with these corn nuts?" Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of a bit frustrating, actually. His shtick is pretty old at this point, I think.
What's the deal with girlfriends and their bath homework?
Oh boy! All right. Well, we might have to take it to the streets, just like Mike Minotti's been playing Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, they had that beta going on this weekend. Yeah. Oh, that's a good game. I like fighting games a decent bit. I'm not like
what's your history with fighting games, Mike? For the folks at home.
Yeah, like I played a good amount of them, but I never like go online hard. So I always play with like the same 3 or 4 people at home. So
you're a Smash whore is what you are. That's just admit it.
Yes, I love Smash Brothers, and that's like almost a different thing. But I played a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast. I played a lot of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
Okay.
Kind of just throughout the years on its different platforms. So those are probably my favorites. I've been dabbling in some SNK. In fact, when I was missing at Galloping Ghost Jeff, it's because I was playing Samurai Showdown 5 or 6 or something for like an hour straight while you guys were just looking for me. So like, I like these kind of 2D like fighting games. And Street Fighter 6 just already feels very good. Like, it's obviously really slick and has these fantastic production values. The game feel is awesome. How it feels like Street Fighter, and you have like your super meter, but you also have this other meter whose name I can't remember, right? The dive meter or drive meter. I think it's drive.
Drive.
This is what
Thirst
you use.
meter, I think. Yeah.
Thirst, yes,
meter.
yeah.
You use this for like your EX moves, like if you want to do a more powerful Hadouken, and other games that would take up some of your super meter. Here, this takes up that instead. You have this like drive impact move, which remember in Street Fighter 4, you can do this thing where like it's basically like a parry or more of like a counter. If you got hit once during it, you would go through it. You got that. You can do a lot of things with this meter. And if you're blocking it take damage, instead of taking chip damage, it takes off this drive meter. So there's a lot of kind of worrying about this meter and all the things you can do with that in a way that kind of makes things methodical and interesting, but maybe not quite as complicated as like the V trigger stuff did in Street Fighter 5, I guess.
Okay.
So that just feels very good there. But also like the whole lobby system where you're actually in this real lobby and you're walking around, everybody gets to make an avatar. You can make some freaks in this game, and they are just wonderful. Like I can't believe like more so than any other creative character thing. Like we've all seen the like Elder Scrolls Oblivion weirdos. This is a whole new level of just monsters.
It reminded me of Second Life, like some Second Life stuff that I've done. It looks like those monstrosities.
But like inside this thing, you can go around, and this is where you can like buy cosmetics for your avatar and things like that. But you can get onto a virtual arcade cabinet, and people can come play you, or you could just push like a menu and join a casual game or a ranked game. But the thing I really liked, that's just like a general Capcom fan, is there's a section with other arcade games that has just rotating
that's cool.
classic Capcom games. Like when the first time I did it, it was Magic Sword. You could just do free play, or you can play with 1 quarter, and there's a leaderboard to see like who gets the most points off of the 1 quarter. And then the next day, it was just Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was the game. And I'm just like, man, if they keep doing this and we get like Final Fight in there, or like Cadillacs and Dinosaur, like all like these classic Capcom arcade games just randomly showing up inside of this lobby as this extra thing, that is just fantastic.
This game feels very much like it's coming out in a post-Fortnite world where they're like, we want you to make you feel like you could spend a lot of time in here. It is a real social hub. There are things to do, and there's potential for us to add more. It feels like they've really thought about a lot of those stuff and like what Street Fighter would look like. Like obviously it's still Street Fighter, but like what can we do to make it feel more welcoming and like a place you can hang out with your friends?
I feel bad that I'm surprised that the online experience is being received so well, because after Street Fighter 5, I had just assumed that like they were fighting uphill with Street Fighter 6.
You can't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it seems like this almost seems like a different Capcom even since then. Street Fighter 5 came out so bare bones and missing features, and there's already been so much thought, I think, into releasing this in a great place. Like Street Fighter 5 eventually sort of got there into a respectable place, even though people would never really embrace the story mode. But they've added good characters, and mechanically it was solid. But again, this was just a beta, and I would pay $6 right now just to be able to keep.
Yeah, when is this game coming out? I'm like desperate to play it now.
It doesn't have. I think it just has 2023.
Man,
I think it has a release date.
It's like March.
I hope so too, because God, I am actually like kind of mad I can't play more of it, because I was like playing Guile a lot. I like to like pick one character and really focus on them.
Oh yeah, which characters were available for the open beta, Mike?
For the beta, you had Ryu, Chun-Li, Ken, Guile, Juri, who's like the foot lady, and then the new characters, Luke, who's like the cover character for this game. Kimberly, who's awesome. She's like
I've heard good things.
She's kind of like a ninja with like she has like graffiti stuff going on. Very cool, very fun to play as. And then the other guy's name I can't forget. He's like the drunken fighter dude with like the long braid hair thing. Also pretty neat. So like in Street Fighter 5, there's like some ugly characters. Like there's like that one really thin guy with a hat who had a lot of poison moves, and just like a miss. There's no misses here yet. And we already know that there's some others that are going to be in the full game, like Cammy and E Honda that weren't in this beta. And they're going to keep adding characters. But again, even with just what was there, and we didn't have access to that sort of open world single player mode that the game's going to have, or a lot of other things, already seems like it's in a good place. People seem to be buzzing. This seems like this is going to be a giant hit for them.
I think it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, I need it to come out sooner, or like another open beta to pop out for a weekend, because I missed the boat on this one, unfortunately, just because of all the hubbub with the Bombathon getting back home. I think I might get a hitbox or make my own, guys.
Oh,
Do it.
I think I might do it.
Why not?
I might consult, my sensei, Jason A. Stryker, on how to best do this. Because, oh man, I got the hunger now. The thirst meter's off the charts. I want to build it.
If you build it, I will come.
Oh,
and yes, that has multiple meetings.
Oh, great.
Yeah, back to Blink 182. I get it. Thank you, Mike, for being circular over there.
Yes,
full
my
circle.
favorite band.
Back to the ring.
Full circle, double circle. Okay, circle, dot. Okay, all right. We can't watch that movie either anymore. Well, I think that brings us to, gentlemen, the game. Wait. Game of the week. Overwatch 2.
Wow.
I had Gundam Evolution listed right before this, which is pretty much Overwatch in a half. Overwatch also. I'm really enjoying that game. Yeah, it's a bunch of Gundam boys and lads and ladies and robots. It's like Overwatch. If you can't get into Overwatch 2 and you're fiending for it because you can't play Overwatch 1, go check out Gundam Evolution. It's a good time. But
Gundam Evolution.
We should play that. We should also play some Overwatch 2 if we can get into it.
Yeah.
I tried really hard to log in, y'all, and I could not get in.
What's the
I got
problem?
in. It's messed up. Well, I was traveling or something like when it was first popping off. Mike, what was the first issue on day one? It was a DDoS, and then everyone.
They were getting it. Yeah, they're getting the DDoS attacks, but also like just a lot of people were trying to log in. It was launch day. They were having issues with like people like getting to the front of the queue and then being sent back. There were a lot of problems, and usually it's like, oh wow, biggest surprise ever, big new online game launches, and there's problems. There were a lot of problems, and the problems have kind of just been, they keep coming. Like even yesterday, they were trying to disable Torbjorn and Bastion because there's some bugs. They want to disable them, and instead they accidentally disabled half of the roster for most players. And I mean, to me, basically everyone I knew, like you logged in and you couldn't play as half of the people.
Oh my
gosh! They had to do another like emergency maintenance thing there. It seems like there's just a lot of fires, and like more fires are popping up before they can put the current ones out.
Yeah, and they're having to like issue like apologies for their phone registration program, which was
I've seen this.
Yes, ill-conceived. You had to have a phone number if you're a new player or any player. I don't know how that worked, but it was you couldn't have a prepaid phone. That just wouldn't work. And so like it feels like a very classist way of doing things. Like if you got a bougie postpaid thing, like you're 100 years old like I am, that you've had for 20 years, then you're fine. But if you're someone who's like, no, I like to like budget out this stuff because it's like I like to save my money. Well, too bad you can't play Overwatch 2, so they've had to disable that, and they're kind of figuring out other ways of doing it.
Right, and Modern Warfare 2 apparently is going to do the same thing. With the
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we'll get there.
Yeah, so there's some so it's just a lot of weirdness, but I did try to get in there yesterday and was able to get in, no problem. Played a few matches, and I had a lot of fun. Turns out Overwatch is still a pretty good game.
Now, go ahead, Grubb. Sorry.
I was just saying, I'm coming to it after not playing much of it for a few years. So there's a lot of new characters to me. Some more subtle changes to the 5v5 stuff. 5-on-5 stuff's not so subtle, but then like changes to the structure of what you might be doing in a match. I know they got rid of some of the modes. I can't like most of it's just like, okay, you're gonna do King of the Hill, and then you're gonna move the point. You're gonna move the.
You don't have two control point anymore. So there was maps like Hanamura, where it's like one control point, then another control point. They got rid of all of those. So
okay, and those were like always the ones where you would get like long stalemates and stuff. Like,
right. So people generally didn't like that. Although it's a bummer because like some of those maps looks really cool, like Hanamura.
And those maps are just gone now, right? But there are some new maps too. Yeah, there's new maps.
There are new maps.
They could maybe rework some of those maps, bring them back as new content now. Which this is a free to play game. It's going to need content going forward, so maybe that could happen. But in general, it's just like, okay, yeah, this is more Overwatch, but it's more Overwatch in the same way that Splatoon 3 was more Splatoon, and I'm kind of glad everyone's playing it again because it gives me an excuse to go in, play more Overwatch, and I'm having fun. I'm mostly playing heroes that I'm familiar with. They haven't changed many of them in any significant ways, other than, you know, some of them have gotten like certain patches. I think maybe it was Diva's alt doesn't work quite the way it used to, or something like that. There were some things where like, oh, this is like slightly different than what I remember when I was first playing. But the overall, they're minor changes. I'm enjoying myself though. It is still a good game.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And Grubb, you haven't really checked in on Overwatch for a long time, correct?
Yeah, just I think I played a couple of matches when it came to Switch, and then like a couple more on PC a few months later, and that was it. Yeah.
I think I might be in a similar boat. My worry is that the skill level of everyone else is still pretty high in their transition from Overwatch 1 to 2. Like, how's that been in your guys' experience? Are you getting smoked
it's free
completely?
To play. So there's a lot of new people who are, it's fresh meat, actually. It's how it's feeling for me. I'm going in there having a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fresh meat.
I don't know if I've ever described
says.
it as, oh, right. Yeah. What a real character you'd want to emulate. I get it. Sure.
That's my energy that I try to bring to my online multiplayer games. I just say, look at all this fresh meat. Give me these fishes, these fresh fishes.
Admirable. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Admirable as fuck.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm having a good time. I don't know. Mike, Mike played a lot more Overwatch than me. Mike, how are you feeling about it?
You've rated all the characters and their effectiveness, right, Mike?
Yes.
That's right. I did a tier list because that's what pro video game journalists do now, which is it's all tier lists. When I can play it, I think it's actually a lot of fun. I even think the 5v5 thing is pretty good for the most part. Overwatch 1 did have a problem where there's maybe just too much health going around and fights really kind of dragged out. There would be all these shields and it just kind of felt like, you just had two balls of players just kind of shooting at each other. So eventually like one domino fell. And then from there, it's like, okay, now we're going through. This is kind of speed things up a bit. There are still some problems there where if you lose that one tank, you're probably in trouble now, obviously, because now you don't have anybody up there soaking up some damage. I think generally though, I think it's a good change. I think at most it's a neutral change. So the 5v5 thing doesn't really bother me. And the thing I do like even more is this general philosophy of getting rid of a lot of the CC, like crowd control effects. So like McCree lost his stun, Brigitte lost her stun. Just not as many stuns or abilities that move people around anymore. Orisa doesn't have her gravity bomb. And I think that's good. That was the stuff that was
Lucio have his push?
Lucio still has his push because that's pretty important for Lucio. Yes. But like even all the tanks now have a passive ability where they resist stuff like that a bit.
Oh,
so they
dang.
don't get pushed around quite as much. And it's a good thing. Like all the CC was making Overwatch feel a bit like Overwatch has always been part Team Fortress and part like League of Legends. That's the sauce. It was getting a little bit too League of Legends-y with just how many of these sort of CC abilities were and just characters in general who were less about actually shooting people and more about using those kind of abilities. So I'm kind of glad to see it creep a bit more back into that shooter territory for me. So I think that's, again, a general positive change. The big problem, though, is just there is so much just kind of negativity and bad feelings about this game from the launch problems and going to, free to play when it wasn't that before. And that's kind of for new players, that's good. There are a lot of Overwatch fans, and for a lot of them who bought Overwatch 1 like 7 years ago. So for all intents and purposes, Overwatch was already a free-to-play game for them anymore, right? It's not like they're thinking about that buy-in purchase anymore. So now it just feels like they get access to less stuff unless they pay more money. And I think that's coloring a lot of people's impressions and just a vibe about the game. I mean, remember when Overwatch 1 came out and how universally praised it was and how much people were freaking out about small things like the reload animations and all stuff. And now
all the
it's
porn.
Like, now.
Well, that's still there.
So obsessed with how much porn there was. There was just so much porn.
Still the number one searches.
Yeah. But now it's like, the talking points are, why is this called Overwatch 2? I don't like the battle pass, and why isn't it working?
Okay. We should definitely get a group of 5 to go get into it, huh? We should maybe do that this week.
Yeah, let's do it this week. We'll have a good time.
I mean, Tam and Lucy, the biggest Overwatch people I know.
Yes. That'd be great. Let's see if they want to play, Sherpa us through some matches.
Yeah, I mean, Abby was kind enough to Sherpa us through the magical world of Fortnite, maybe we could use our own lads and lasses with him and Lucy.
Internal to the
that was the name of my
team,
preschool
absolutely.
was Lads and Lasses, by the way. You just activated a core memory. Yeah,
wow.
all the mostly of all the embarrassing things that ever happened in my preschool now. But,
Sure.
Screw him, Mike. Doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't bother me
one
anymore.
Kid pee their pants 50 times, Mike. It doesn't even make sense.
No, it's impressive. No, I'm the Rings of Power guy now. Who cares?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody in chat asked how grindy is the battle pass. It seems kind of grindy. It's been a little slow going on the battle pass so far.
What is on the battle pass for folks
cosmetics.
Curious? It's all cosmetics.
So skins, emotes, like some new things that are kind of dumb, like weapon charms. So it's like a little like doodad you can hang off your weapon.
Buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of characters don't have weapons. They just use their hands, and it's literally like they drove a metal rod into their palm, and there's like a little picture of like an onion with a face hanging off of it. Yeah.
They did a stigmata?
Stigmatas are coming to Fortnite.
Oh man, I'm excited. Hearing y'all's excitement and positivity about it kind of is outweighing all of the general negativity that I hear on the internet.
I bet we go play with Lucy and Tam. We'll have a good time, and Lucy and Tam will probably be like, "No, this actually sucks for some reason." Like that's probably what'll happen.
Yeah, we get the Fortnite crew with the Overwatch 2, folks.
Ooh, that's where the magic happens.
Let's call it overnight, baby. That's it. Let's go.
I think we've just done it.
What's the closest thing to a John Cena skin in Overwatch? Some kind of soldier skin or something where he's wearing
Agent
camo,
76,
right?
like decked out in American flags or something
Agent
like that.
76. You sound like a stupid asshole when you
Soldier
call him that.
76. Wow. I told you I'm 100 years old.
Someone points it out. This is a real one. Moira turning invisible. Yep, because
there you go.
I mean, that's
Thank
the ultimate
you,
John Cena skin. That's the ultimate John.
Quick
Quick question before we go to break. Can I do the gritty in Overwatch 2?
No, they need to catch up on their emote game. No.
Dang.
Yeah, that's what they're all about, right?
Can I expense Ariana Grande? Nope.
Damn it.
Nope.
Damn it. I just did the onboarding today. Thought I could. All right, everybody. That does it for the first segment of the Giant Bombcast. We're going to take a quick breaky break. You can hear from our sponsors. If you're a premium member, then you won't. We'll be back in just a flash. See you in a bit. You know what's fun? Fun is fun. And you can make your fun website that tracks how much fun you've had today using Squarespace. Don't have fun too often? Or you like being a wet blanket at social gatherings? You can make a website about that too. Wetblanketcollective.com, .net, wetblanketfriends.org even. With Squarespace, it doesn't matter if you don't know how to build a website because they've got world-class templates to help you get started. All of these drag and drop tools make it so easy to build a website, y'all. If you want to sell wet blankets or fun, you can do that too because Squarespace has multiple avenues for e-commerce. Sell products, gift cards, digital products, subscriptions, and more. Track all of that too with Squarespace's powerful analytical tools. People of all sorts of industries are using Squarespace to make their ideas and dreams come true. And now, so can you. Go to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial when you're ready to launch. Use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. When you're hiring, you're supposed to leave no stone unturned. But how do you actually do that? Easy. Partner with one powerful stone turner. You need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. You hate waiting? Indeed's US data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. You know, one of the neatest things about Indeed is the whole virtual interview system. You don't need to get your interviewees, your candidates to download anything. You don't need to launch a program. Just launch Indeed's virtual interviews. Works in virtually any and every browser. Join over 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast. Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why when you sponsor a job, you only pay for quality applications from resumes in our database matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/bomb to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/bomb. Indeed.com/bomb. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Now, folks, this is a little peek behind the curtain. You know, with a little crosstalk happening in between the break here. And I came back from using the restroom, and then these three hooligans around me, they're talking about October games. They're talking about various differing sports. And let me tell you, it was very refreshing. As someone that is a big fan of sports entertainment, it is also nice to hear about regular sports. There was a moment on the Uber to the airport that Tam and I talked about the Warriors. It was great.
Just a moment.
We sat in a Buffalo Wild Wings at the airport. Jeff,
yes, we did.
Jeff, Grubb, Jason, Tam, and I, and like we're just looking at sports and talking about them just ever so slightly.
I watched like several shots in golf while we were there. So yeah.
Oh my god! And then it was like, oh wow, can we talk about basketball when it comes around? Is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
We could do that.
Not sports entertainment, just regular sports.
We have to actually stop talking about football because of what happened to the Lions this past weekend. 28 to
nothing. You know, I keep trying to write off the 49ers, and they keep winning. So maybe I do like Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know.
It's actually a handsome boy.
It's always the special teams with the Niners. We just keep dumb lucking our way into victory, just like Jimmy Garoppolo keeps dumb lucking his way into still being our quarterback.
It's all part of the team, though.
The 49ers owners are like they're like from my town, like Youngstown area. So like sometimes 49ers are just like randomly around here at our bars and stuff for some reason. It's always weird.
Are those owners connected to like the Youngstown Mafia or anything, or is it just?
Oh yeah, I thought even they used to be. This the Bartlow group or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to set as a goal, Grubb?
Please.
By the end of the year, or maybe the end of the NHL season, just to get Jan on board with the Sharks. Like, I feel like
I've been to a couple games.
Okay.
You know,
everyone likes going to the hockey games, though. Everyone likes going to the hockey games. Do you have Hulu, Jan?
Oh, they're always
fun. Hulu.
I've got Hulu. Yes.
Hulu.
See, most of the games should be on. I guess if you're local, it might be a little bit more complicated.
They'll be blacked out. Probably.
They'll be blacked out. But hey, well, you know how to VPN.
I've blacked out at a Sharks game.
Yeah.
I mean so you've been there. Okay.
You get
fine.
Man, that's a full hockey experience. I have nothing left to teach them.
And then I went to my friend Mapple's house at his dad's to try out a bidet.
I mean, that's the full experience. That's it.
That's a different kind of hat trick, I think.
That's the dream. Right. The Gordy, how do you do hat trick? Exactly. Yeah.
You're killing me with that cup while you sail this.
So put my pinky out for you. There you go. Is that better?
That's a regular mug. That's an 8-ounce glass mug there.
It's just like Andre the Giant. With like that beer can. It just looks small.
Well, now I'm committed. Now I have to hold it the rest of the show. Great. All right, here we go.
It's got Halloween colors, though. Is that on purpose?
Yes, it does.
That's good.
No.
Nice. Just a coincidence.
Well,
Jan, I would love to see you everyone before they're 30 should attend an ice hockey game, and before the end of the second intermission need to go home because they're too drunk. That's sort of like what you should achieve.
I think the problem was I stayed there and then I just kept going.
Yeah, then you get in trouble. That's when the trouble starts.
Molson Canadian will really get you.
One of those like drunk tanks, or like one of those cells there. Something about that actually seems kind of cozy to me.
You mean like a penalty box? Is that what you're talking about?
No, for the fans that get too drunk, not the players.
Right, to be arrested by like the nation state that runs a stadium. Yeah,
right,
there's something special about that.
You're not in any real trouble. They just literally have to keep you in a pen until the game's over because they don't know what to do with you.
They don't want to expose you to the norms. Yeah,
it's probably pretty cool. You probably get to see parts of the arena that no one else gets to see, which is probably fun. I have a friend who got banned from MetLife Stadium, where the Giants and Jets play, and he described a very intricate series of tubes and under sort of carriage of that stadium, which sounded really awesome. He's never allowed to go back there ever again. again, but
it's
what I'm
like,
looking at right
the
now?
bottom floor of Disney World, the Utilidors.
right, exactly.
Fuck. Sudden Death is not on Prime Video, man. We would do this. Yeah. That was on there. That would be.
You know, there might be an opportunity or a time when y'all are here in the Bay Area. Are the Sharks still playing? Should we just catch a game?
They'll be playing in December.
Sure. Yeah, we should definitely go to a game. That would be great.
Okay.
Unless we, get unlucky and they're having like a away sort of tour.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Angela
Road trip,
Lansbury died.
Oh.
Murder She Wrote,
Sorry to
and
hear
Mrs.
that.
Potts from Beauty and the Beast. Oh, that's
I
a big
thought she was
bummer.
already dead. That's okay. Wow.
No, she hasn't
Dan
yet.
Reichert just chiming in chat. She was alive.
That's how I feel.
She was
There you
90,
go, Grubb.
96, so very old. But she was in like that new Mary Poppins. She showed up at the end of that. I remember.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
She was still in things.
Yeah, she hung in there. Let's be honest. You know,
She beat the queen.
96.
That's
all she's
right.
doing.
That's right. She was holding on until this Thursday when Sonic 06 returns, but she was like, you know what?
It's
I'm
true.
done.
They were
done.
in kindergarten together.
And that's the type of breaking news you can expect during the news.
Yay.
This is the news with Jeff Grubb.
I was gonna say I really wish she died during Sonic 06, but that's not something you're supposed to say.
Okay.
You can't just outright say it. You
can't
cannot
just say it.
wish
That's the big
death.
thing. You can't do that. Yeah.
You cannot
All
give
right.
people the kiss of death. They just have to like stumble into the kiss
It
on
just
the
needs to
cheek.
just happen. Yeah, right. It just needs to happen. Right. Lesson learned. Everybody.
Go sip your tiny cup.
All right. Yeah, we go. I'm taking another sip here, and then we're gonna get into the news.
There you go. All right, that was
boy.
Brazilian regulator says Sony could compete without Call of Duty, just like Nintendo does. This came because the Brazilian regulator CADE gave their approval to Microsoft to acquire Activision. On Wednesday, the country's competition watchdog said it had approved Microsoft's proposed $69 billion merger with Activision Blizzard with no restrictions. Explaining its reasoning for the decision, CADE appeared to imply that Sony can have little reason to complain about potential exclusivity, given that exclusive content played a role in the PlayStation's success story. That's sort of like the big beat there right up top is the only one really complaining is Sony, and it's not really our job to protect Sony. And they even go on to like explicitly say that. Let's see. I had the quote here. It's important to highlight that the central objective of CADE's activities is the protection of competition as a means of promoting the well-being of Brazilian consumers and not the defense of the particular interests of specific competitors. In this sense, although it is recognized that some PlayStation users could decide to migrate to Xbox in the event that Activision Blizzard games, especially Call of Duty, become exclusive to Microsoft's ecosystem, CADE does not believe that such a possibility represents in itself a risk to competition in the console market as a whole. This is the first major regulatory body to come and weigh in on this. I expect most others, maybe short of the UK and maybe the EU, to echo these same sentiments where it's like, hey, you should be able to compete. We see that Nintendo can compete. So, even if you have to try a little bit harder, there's no reason that you can't continue doing what you're doing, even without Call of Duty.
100%.
All that sounds right to you guys?
Totally.
It seems like a fairly lucid take, all things considered.
Yeah, agreed. I think we are probably now going to have to wait a little bit longer for the next one of these dominoes to fall. This is a global acquisition. Obviously, it touches pretty much every country with a gaming market on Earth. And so the next big one will probably be the FTC in the United States. And then we probably won't actually get the final take from the UK, and then the EU until next year. Those would be the most likely to come back and say, well, actually, we do want to protect Sony's interest here for whatever reason. We'd have to actually hear that. All that said, it still feels like even if they do say that, they're like, well, we just want to make sure that, all kinds of consumers have access to this. Are there any concessions you can agree to ensure that happens? Microsoft will be able to get pretty creative there and figure something out. So the first domino to fall here, if this is going to keep happening, and by this time next year, we will know finally for sure that, what's happening with Activision under Blizzard or under Microsoft. Phil Spencer has teased a new Xbox system, the Xbox Keystone. Phil tweeted a picture of his office shelf to celebrate Fallout's 25th anniversary with a new Vault Boy statue. But if you look above the Vault Boy statue on the top shelf, you could see what looks like the top third of an Xbox Series X console, only if it's painted white. And that kind of system, the top third of an Xbox Series X, lines up with what we've heard about this Keystone console streaming device. It was originally just described as maybe a stick. And it's like, no, it's bigger than that. It's more like a puck. And then most recently we've heard, no, it's actually a full square shape, just the same general shape of an Xbox Series X, just shorter. That's just sitting there. You can see here if you're watching the video version. We still have not heard any official announcement of this, other than Microsoft said they have looked into this technology and they are looking at ways to bring it to consumers. I don't have much interest in or need for something like this. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it works. Are you guys craving something like, oh, you have like a third room, you need to put something in, and one of these, if they're like $100, would it make sense for you?
I don't know, just for a stream. I mean, the Series S is already like such a pretty good deal for that kind of thing, and it does stuff natively. I actually just bought a Series S last week because I wanted something I can easily have in my office to put in my capture card when I'm streaming. There was some like deal. It was like $50 off, and it came with the controller, and that's great. I don't like. I'm almost so it's just like a streaming box. Like what else? What else is it than just a streaming box? Like why isn't it just a stick? I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if it's maybe it can do quite a bit maybe locally in terms of video processing and stuff like that.
Maybe it can keep your drinks hot. You just set it on top.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
So,
the opposite of the Xbox fridge.
Yes, exactly.
They're gonna get the whole beverage market, you know.
Yeah. Jeff, have you also been hearing them? There's also murmurings about maybe like something coming, maybe not from Microsoft exactly, but similar to the Logitech thing. I know I've seen Jez Corden saying that maybe something else is coming in that kind of handheld market. Is Microsoft
I think that Microsoft's probably working. Yeah, I think Microsoft's probably going to keep working with. I mean, they were working with Logitech. Razer is working with Verizon on something similar. Those devices are like becoming very like super cheap to produce. I literally just bought one for $8 on TikTok because I saw a TikTok ad. So that's going to get here. I'm going to be like, hey, I bought this for $8. Here's what I think. And that's going to be a YouTube video. But they're so cheap that like, you know, less than $10 for a screen, a processor, all the controls, and to ship it. We're talking commodity prices. That's at a point where, okay, you could start looking around saying, we're Microsoft. We maybe want to start doing this ourselves, but chances are we're going to be able to find a partner that's willing to just mostly eat most of the costs and actually do the development. They already have their own assembly lines, things like that. We can tell them what we want and see if we can build a market on their backs. That seems like, I mean, already they've started out with Logitech. I do think that they intend to make that one of the prongs of cloud gaming going forward. And, you know, that makes sense. The like cheap old Android hardware is powerful enough to stream stuff from the cloud and to do like local stuff like emulation. So I fully expect them to embrace that stuff. It makes the most sense because the phone is only going to get you so far. When people have to actually begin controlling video games, that can create some hurdles where people are, this actually doesn't feel great, or only kids are playing Minecraft with just their thumbs on a screen and they'll be fine with it. But if you're trying to reach this wider audience, these weird kids, I don't get it. But yeah, I expect them to figure out something along those lines, definitely.
I see this being really good in hotels for some reason. You just go to like a trendy hotel and stuff. You just have this set up next to like a router you didn't know that was there.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of being kids, wasn't it the best when you went to a hotel room and they had like that Nintendo 64 controller?
Yeah,
the TV?
It was so cool.
Sometimes they would have like that weird like coiled phone wire attached to it, and you're like, "What's this? How did this happen? I can't wait to use this and be confused."
I could tell. Maybe Bakalar will remember this too. I'm a little bit older because for me it was Super Nintendo and not Nintendo 64. And I remember the game I most remember and associate with that is Blackthorn. Blackthorn for Super Nintendo. Like I remember playing that and be like, this game, a Blizzard game. I'm like, wow, this owns. I should get this. So like apparently it's a Super Nintendo game. Wild. I've never seen anything like this before. And then, did
you have to pay for those, or were those just? Oh damn!
I remember having to talk my parents into spending money. So and then, you know, I was a little brat. So
they paid for the hour. That's how it works.
Something like that. Yeah.
Copy.
So I do think that like, maybe that is where it makes sense, is like the kind of thing where, you know, it could end up in hotels. It could be the kind of thing where you do try to sell it next to Roku's and Apple TVs, and it just happens to also be a really good thing for playing games. And it just includes a controller and maybe a remote. And so like the problem of getting people to connect a controller to something is solved for them. We'll see if that actually ends up working.
You could totally see these in like fancy schmancy Airbnbs where,
totally,
you know, like a cabin you're getting away for the weekend, because every Airbnb I've been to has a slim PS2 with 3 games that are not in the proper boxes. It's great. And then like, you know, you get this as like another thing to add to the checklist of like, this is entertainment. You know, we got okay internet here. You can play Fusion Frenzy.
Back in February, we were renting a house in Vermont, and there was an Xbox Series X there.
Oh.
And the kids found it right away, and they turned it on, and it was just like logged into some schmo's account who I guess forgot to log out before they left. And I want to say a good feature that should be introduced is like self-destructing logins that
timed logins,
kind of expire after a certain amount of time. Like if there was a way that I could log in to like my Airbnb Xbox, and honestly it should work for every subscription platform like Netflix, because this is a thing now where like people put Fire Sticks in these Airbnbs, and then you know the morning you're checking out and you're like, fuck, I gotta log out of 11 things right now, and it's I realize champagne problems perhaps,
we stayed
like
our drive back from our drive from Colorado to Ohio, the first place we stayed was like, hey, HBO and all that shit. We don't do that shit anymore. You can just sign into all your stuff, and we're going to sign you out automatically. And it worked.
Thanks.
So like hotels at least have that option of like, hey, no, we know how to like just clear the cache, and it does it automatically. You don't even have to think about it. And I'm like, oh, that was cool. Like I could see it. Like it no longer has to be signed in. So. Having that as an option for like Airbnbs, I wonder if that's something they could just build in. And make
Bakalar, you should have just bought every single Sonic game you possibly could have when you were on that guy's account, just to do him a favor.
You already just Sonic games and hentai games. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That really would have made an impression. Figure out a way for me to get logged out. That'd be great.
Please.
Yeah. That's good idea. Game Pass numbers confirm some strong revenue for the service. This comes from Derek Strickland at Tweaktown. Some regulators, like Brazil's Administrative Council for Economic Defense, CADE, as we were talking about earlier.
Apparently it's CADE, people were saying, Jeff.
CADE?
Chat, not CADE. More like CADE is what people were saying.
More like CADE.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, thank you. These Nuts released a public document outlining its thought process on the approval and included a ton of data on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and others. One specific figure shows just how much Microsoft makes from Xbox Game Pass on consoles. According to the data, Xbox Game Pass generated $2.9 billion from consoles alone in 2021. And that is that represents a significant total of the $16.28 billion that Microsoft made in total from its gaming division in 2021. If you just take games and services and exclude hardware, it's actually about 30% of the total, $2.9 billion versus other revenues from games and services being $9.68 billion. So that number at first sounds pretty good to me. I maybe it could be higher, but $2.9 billion per year, and it's kind of just getting bigger. That sounds like a pretty good starting point as long as they do keep growing it. What's your guys' reaction to that? Does that sound like enough money?
It sounds like a lot of revenue. I guess the question is, what's the profit? Like, how much is it costing?
Sure.
Right, because this is all gross. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, that's right. This is not net. This is gross. Correct. And I would say that it might not actually be the question right now because this is Microsoft and they are still in the gathering phase of let's just get as many users on here as possible. We'll figure out the profit later. But yes, we do not know this. I mean, the Amazon model. Every company is in the Amazon model because they're like, Amazon got away with it forever. We're going to do the same thing. And so, well, you're not Amazon. Sure. Microsoft in clouds or in game subscription services probably is like the Amazon of that space and can get away with not thinking about profits for the next 10 years. But, we'll see how that works. $2.9 billion is a good start, though. That's the kind of a number where if you do need to start thinking about profits, you could probably begin, trimming and pruning to a place where it's like you could turn some of those revenues into net profits. And yeah, it's better than not having revenues and not having profits. At least they do have some revenue. Upcoming Call of Duty, let's see, they're going to do, okay, they're doing the same thing. The upcoming Call of Duty game is going to have that annoying phone number verification requirement. This comes from John Porter at The Verge. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will require players to register with a phone number on battle.net to play the game. This is in order to make players responsible for their actions. The game is set for release later this month on October 28th. This is a repeat of the practice that caused issues for Overwatch 2 players last week, according to PC Gamer. A Battle.net support page lists the upcoming Call of Duty shooter as one of its 3 games that require you to add a phone number to your Battle.net account to play alongside Overwatch 2 and 2019's Modern Warfare. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the problems here. I'm of the mind of, I bet this actually doesn't solve much of anything at all.
No. Yeah, I can't imagine that this... locking out a bunch of players, that this actually solves anything based off of how easy it is to just generate a phone number.
Yeah, and like, they are pretty good at making sure, like, prepaid phone numbers don't work. I bet Google Voice doesn't work either. But people who are determined to cheat will find a way around. And really, It's just going to... This is the same thing with most sort of DRM schemes. It's just going to be a hurdle for people who are normal players who do obey the rules and just want to play a game, and now they're going to encounter issues because they don't have the right phone company. And that's just a bit frustrating. Mike, did you have to put in your phone for Overwatch?
No. I think if you were like a carryover
existing
player, I think it was a new player thing. I didn't quite. Yeah, it was confusing. But I mean, it definitely seems to be cause people. It seems like it wasn't very well thought out. Like it was pitched as this cure-all, and people didn't really think about what exactly this meant. Like, it was just assumed that anybody with like a prepaid phone or whatever was like somehow that wasn't legitimate, and those can be completely legitimate. So it's bizarre.
Doesn't Battle.net, didn't they have like an authenticator app? What was wrong with that?
They have an authenticator app. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess you could just keep getting authenticator things. I don't know how that even works anymore. I use that for World of Warcraft.
You can get like an authenticator that's not connected to a phone plan, though. You can get like your own sort of like keychain, like they sold those. This is about tying one account to one phone number so that if you were trying to then make a new account because you're really good and you want to smurf and play against people who aren't as good, actually you can't do that. Yeah, we know we already have your number here. You already have an account. You have to play with that. I think that's kind of what they're trying to stop here. So I just don't know if that is worth all of this. Like, is this
sure?
Is the false positives that you're going to squeeze out here? Is that going to cause so many headaches? That's just not worth it. So far with Overwatch, that seems to be exactly what's happening, where it just is mostly annoying people who are there to play the game on a normal circumstance. Okay, so here this is a new segment. Holiday hardware news update. Hooray!
Hooray! Jingle.
Yeah, woo! We're here. We're going to talk about the PlayStation. Yes, everybody, get your jingle bells out. It's October. Thank you so much. It's October, which means it's time to start thinking about Christmas and gift giving and finding systems for those cousins who will not stop bothering you about, hey, can you get me a PS5? Can you get me a PS5? Well, you might be able to get them a PS5 because PlayStation shipments were reportedly up 400% last month.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's in September. That's according. Yes, those are some busy elves. David Gibson, a senior analyst at MST Financial, studied import documentation to determine how many Sony Interactive products were arriving in the U.S. Now, that's Sony Interactive as a total, and that's so that could be controllers as well. But in general, this is going to cover a lot of hardware as well. According to Gibson, Sony Interactive shipped around 7.5 million kilograms of stock to the U.S. in September 2022. This was an increase of 400%, or 5 times the size of the 1.5 million kilograms shipped to the U.S. in September 2021. You can imagine that, not all of that increase is going to be PlayStation 5s. I bet most of it is, though, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, go ahead.
I think I just worry that some of this is going to wind up in the hands of scalpers either way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to happen for sure.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we're definitely headed towards that stabilization period where the supply catches up with demand and the third party hooligans are shit out of luck. So
yeah,
hopefully.
I mean that's exactly what you're going to hope is going to happen here. Like they do show up to buy all of these, and then the next day another shipment arrives, and another shipment arrives, and another shipment arrives.
Oh, no.
And now they're sitting on PS5s that they cannot mark up anymore. They probably still will be able to get an extra $50, extra $100 on top of it. And
here and there,
during the holidays, like that's like where it should be, right? Where during the holidays, if you want to guarantee you get a PS5, paying a scalper an extra $50 is probably like worth it to you. It was when it was twice or three times the price, where this is just absurd. These markups feel, violating to a certain extent. But, the point is like this could be a really good holiday for finding a PS5 and actually successfully getting one in your home at retail prices, with a warranty from Best Buy or whatever. So 400% increase. We'll see if that translates into actually seeing a PS5 on store shelves. That probably still won't happen anytime soon, but it could. And of course, all of this comes on the backs of that redesigned PS5 that is lighter, uses less materials, uses the new 6nm process chip instead of the 7nm process chip, so they can make a lot more processors. So hopefully, just everything continues to work in towards making more PS5s available for more people. And then on top of that, of course, there's the price increase. So maybe people are going to sit out a little bit longer. So like extra $50, I can't afford that. Probably not.
I smell like a straight to cable TV holiday movie of a father. It's like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but instead of like that action figure, instead of the action figure, it's a PS5.
Absolutely.
Jingle all the Ryan. That was a bad.
I don't want to jiggle any Ryan.
Jimmel all the Ryan.
Jimmel all the yeah.
Jimble all the way.
Jimmel all the way. Let's go with that.
Jimmel or Jimble?
Jimmel. Like Jimmy Jimmel, but right?
Jim Ryan.
Man, I can't believe they don't let me make movies. I have so many good ideas.
I mean, as long as Sinbad is in it, I'll show up, Mike. So you make that happen. I'll be there.
Oh, he'll be there. Don't worry.
He's dying to be in it, please.
And that does it for the holiday hardware news update for this week. We'll come back next week if there's any other news updates about how hard or not hard it's going to be to get consoles going through to Black Friday and all that. All right. Crash Bandicoot's long-rumored Wumpa League is seemingly being teased for the Game Awards. Yeah, so I actually don't know what Wumpa League is, although it's a name I've heard a bunch surrounding Crash Bandicoot. Apparently, yeah. I mean, but like, what is the league part? Like, is it like the Anti-Defamation League sort of thing, or
I don't
a sport?
Is it like? Are they doing a Fall Guys but with Crash Bandicoot? Is that what that is? Like, it sounds like some kind of multiplayer thing, right?
Yeah, it sounds like a party game. Is what? Yes, absolutely. Crash. Yeah. People are saying Crash Bash. There was
Crash
2.
Bash already. They had a party game on the PlayStation 1. It wasn't bad.
Well, yeah.
It was better than Sonic Shuffle, which wasn't hard. But
whoa. You're right.
Does Dan know about Sonic Shuffle?
No, you stop talking right now.
Does he know about that?
Are you a
This is for our holiday bonding experience.
Not the actions of an MVP. Okay.
Yes, for real.
So, I think Reddit will like that, actually. I think.
Oh my god!
No one cares what Reddit likes.
They like me, so I care.
I unsubscribed yesterday. I just needed to feel better. It's like, all right.
Cleanse thyself.
Hey, Jeff, what's that about this Wumpa League thing?
Yeah, so they sent a pizza box about Crash Bandicoot 4 coming to Steam to, like, I guess a Crash creator on YouTube or whatever in Canada. YouTuber Canadian Guy A. That's his name. Canadian Guy A.
That just sounds like you're trying to get like a high up listing in the telephone book with a name like that.
You have to back that up more so that this person is a specifically Crash Bandicoot YouTuber.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming because I don't see anyone else getting this pizza box that's like themed about like just Crash Bandicoot 4 going to Steam. Like you have to like put yourself out there as a Crash guy. Like I love this dude. I love Crash.
Influencer.
I'm wearing jorts right now, and they are themed after Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I respect
Wumpa
it
fruit
too.
is 90% of my diet.
I hope they do unboxing videos and they just like spin around a bunch just to try and open it.
Do you know how many crates I've destroyed? My entire hands are splinters.
My vertigo is off the charts.
Then he gets to the end of the day and learns that he missed one and has to backtrack all the way.
So anyway, that pizza box said that we have a special pizza deal going on right now, and obviously like there is no Crash Bandicoot Pizza Company, and the pizza deal was for $12.08 as in December 8th, which is the day of the Game Awards.
You know what else is on that day, Jeff? You know what else is on that day?
Yeah, I know what else is that day, Mike.
Minotti's birthday,
Yeah,
national
fucking-
holiday.
Yeah,
Get
boo.
ready, everybody.
Boo.
What a bad way to forget about your birthday, Mike. That's I just gotta say.
So I guess we're gonna get the Wumpa League thing. I don't know. I have no idea what this is. I guess I'll take a Crash Party game. Whatever. Another thing for Dan to subject us to.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I would rather get a Crash Bandicoot 5. I thought that Crash Bandicoot 4 was fantastic. I thought that was
that would require
really
too much
good.
of Activision's Call of Duty money. Like we're not going to use this.
Right, because that was Toys for Bob, and they are still, as far as we know, just a Call of Duty support studio now.
Right. Toys for Bob said they were going to like look at something else, but they are still mostly working on Call of Duty. That's right. All right, let's keep moving here. 69%, nice, of all physical games sold in Japan last month were Splatoon 3.
Fucking unbelievable.
Whoa.
69%, more than 2/3 of every single physical game sold in Japan last month was
It's like they don't even
Splatoon
care about
3.
Monkey Island over there.
Yeah, that's right.
That is a statistic that cannot be digested in one sitting.
Yeah. Right. It's like I like really still struggle to like see what that looks like in like a store. I mean, at a certain point, it's just like everyone coming into the shop all day just must be getting Splatoon 3.
Yeah, like you get off the train and here you go, you know?
Yeah.
Here's your copy for the week.
Yeah.
More than 2 out of 3 people. Yeah, more than 2 out of 3 people were like, Splatoon 3, please.
Right.
Insane.
Well, I mean, we talked about, I think we talked about the numbers of like, if you look at Japan's population, and it was something like 2 to 3% of Japan's population bought Splatoon 3. Like that is
crazy.
That is also a banana stat. Like no 2 to 3% of any nation does the same thing in that short amount of time. Like
Except hate.
Except for hate, right, man? We got to do something about that. Thank you, Jen, for bringing it up, man.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
You guys have your Pokey-Mon Splatfest team picked out? Water type, fire type, or grass type?
I was thinking about putting that in the news, but I'm glad you brought it up. Listen, I usually pick the fire type, and it never works out for me. So I feel like I should switch things up.
You got to join all the wet boys and girls over on the water type.
All right, I'll get sloppy. with you. I'll go wet.
Let's get damp.
those steaks sloppy.
Yeah.
Let's get sopping wet with the water types.
I mean, you already took a shower with all your clothes on. Oh.
Yeah, that's true. I was already the soppiest boy in New York City.
You were a sloppy, soggy, sloshy boy.
Ooh,
Yes, that's right.
But can like the grass team really unite all of the stoners out there?
Yes, it can and it will. That's for sure. Yeah. There's all kinds of deviants going around here. And I don't know, Fire Team is just like the Pokemon tryhards, I think.
Oh, yes, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me. Yep, it's correct. I feel seen. Thank you, Mike Minotti.
I know it is. Slop up those gentlemen, please. No sloppy steaks. Oh, what are we gonna do? Slop them up.
Slop them up.
It's gonna be the slogan of Team Water type. Slop them up.
Slop them up, boys.
The Moist
Need for
Mafia.
Speed.
Great.
Yeah, Moist Boy Mafia. Here we go. Let's make it happen. Need for Speed Unbound reveal trailer confirms December release date for PS5, Xbox Series S and S, and PC. They claimed in messages to investors that this game would come out this year. They held true to that. It is coming out in December. It's the latest point that they could do this year, but they're going to make it. Have you all seen this trailer? This is something that kind of was confirmed a report we had on Grub Snacks a while back that it was going to have animated overlay, graffiti, sort of an anime style on top of realistic looking cars. I think it looks pretty good for a Need for Speed, where I'm like, I'm more interested in this than I have been in a Need for Speed game in quite some time. I don't know if
you told me about this game like a year ago, I feel like, Jeff. So, yeah, good job.
Yep.
Yeah, like I'm not normally into Need for Speed anymore. This looks cool. Also, it's Criterion for the first time in a long time.
Oh,
and they make games.
Criterion proper.
So,
now you're speaking my language.
There's not like much else happening in the world of driving games this holiday, right? So yeah,
we got a lot of driving games last year. This year we have not had as many. Yeah.
Jeff, you didn't say that this trailer featured A$AP Rocky. I've been waiting for a new track.
Animated A$AP Rocky.
Oh my God. I'm all in now.
He's like in the game as himself. Like you saw that, right? Like it's not just his music. Okay, yes. My daughter, 5-year-old, loves A$AP Rocky.
Yo, gang. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, it comes on. Like I'm trying to like. He sings Sundress, right? That's him.
No, that Sunflower or
Sunflower. No, not Sunflower.
No,
Sundress.
That's Posty and Soy Lee.
Not Sunflower.
Sundress. Yes.
She loves that song, and like I hear her just singing it to herself. Sometimes I'm like, "Can you put that on?" She says, "Yes, please."
Your daughter's got taste.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, from the beginning, we've been saying this game's going to take place in Chicago. They're making a big deal about that, and in terms of the stylings and the way they're presenting it and stuff. I don't know. I like the graffiti aspect on top of the cars. I'm not sure if it's enough to draw me in past saying, "Oh, that's a cool looking trailer." But we'll see. At least it looks different than other recent Need for Speeds, which I think have been mostly very forgettable.
Yes, definitely. Need for Speed that came out like 9 years ago.
Is that the Need for Speed Ride or like the Ride?
Nobody knows.
Like
cinematic.
Nobody
Aaron
knows.
Paul was in a game, or was that a movie?
Was
that
the movie or the game?
Ago.
Aaron Paul was in the movie. Aaron Paul was in the movie.
But there was like an FMV one around that same time, and that's why I think I conflate them. And I think that's the Ride.
I don't know if it was FMV. I think it was just a lot of in-game cutscenes. It was like I think it was that same year where they had like Mirror's Edge Catalyst and one of the Medal of Honor reboots like at their show. It's like I remember that booth pretty well. They're gonna make Medal of Honor a thing again.
Let's keep going. Apparently, I did have
has quite the good cast. Was this movie okay?
It stinks though. No,
they tried really hard to just make it a
Fast and Furious.
Michael Keaton is in this.
Really?
Yeah.
But that was also before Michael Keaton came back in a big way. So you were getting like
he never left my heart.
But then you have Rami Malek in this, and this was like Mr. Robot. I think it
predates Mr. Robot, dude.
It's 2014. I swear that was
the same time. He's still the same guy. He could still be good.
No, Mr. Robot taught him how to act.
That's right.
Christian Slater sat him down. Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's how most actors' career go: pre-Christian Slater, post-Christian Slater.
Yes.
Once you cross paths, that's it.
Yeah,
BC.
Yeah.
I guess it was during Mr. Robot time. I don't know. It's something else.
Ribbit.
All right. I did have a little tidbit here about the Mario movie. Jack Black suggests that the Mario movie features musical sections. Another thing we talked about on Grub Snacks a while ago.
Please.
I mean, you hire Jack Black for a couple of reasons. One, he does have a great vocal range in terms of performance and acting, but you want him to sing. I want Jack Black to sing. America wants Jack Black to sing. He's gonna sing.
Let him sing.
Apparently, the song, listen, the early script that I went over on Grub Snacks like a year ago now or whatever. They delayed this movie. I bet a lot of this stuff has changed, but what we heard was he's going to sing about his young days and why he decided he wanted to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. And then apparently there's a song where the Mario Brothers sing about plumbing. So I guess we'll get that too.
It makes sense because K-Mech's in this movie, so there is there's going to definitely be some young Bowser stuff involved, huh?
Yes.
Some Yoshi's Island callbacks.
That would be great.
Give me a duet with Jack Black playing the guitar as Bowser and Charlie Day singing as Luigi on a piano.
Yep.
Write the Tony, folks. Write the.
Well, that would not be a Tony if this was on Broadway. That would have to be.
It's going to translate. It's going to translate. I know what I said.
It says, I think you'll be surprised to see that Bowser has a musical side. After the movie comes out, I might take it to Broadway. That's what the man says.
Okay.
Fuck me then, I guess.
Fuck you, Mike.
He's purchasing a pretty large IP right to do that, I would imagine. But also...
Get that EGOT.
I mean, someone in chat, I don't know if you said it too, Jan, but Charlie Day, right? who has proven himself to be musically talented in many different ways.
A performer.
Oh yeah.
I am really excited for the notion of that duet. Is there any other musically inclined people in this?
Keegan-Michael Key?
Obviously not Chris Pratt, right? Because
Not Chris Pratt. Just in general, though, like I know we make like we laugh about Minions and Illumination, but like they do those Sing movies also, and they have they're all about musical numbers.
Yeah,
and they do a very good job with those, so they are definitely suited for this kind of thing.
Anya Taylor-Joy does sing, yeah.
She can sing, okay. All right.
Fred Armisen can play drums somehow. That'd be cool.
That's true. Fred Armisen is Kamek, right? Kamek, or however you say it.
No, I think I think Fred Armisen is
one of the Kongs, right?
Is he Cranky Kong?
Actually, I think he's Cranky Kong.
He's Cranky.
Yeah, it's gonna be Seth Rogen's gonna do a song where he just giggles and laughs in the background.
Okay, thank you.
Well, they're gonna just take one of the songs from that Donkey Kong Country show, which was like nothing but bad songs, right?
Wow, that sounds like a brilliant idea.
Fred Armisen already looks like he's the front man of an indie band, so there you go. Just fulfill the prophecy. He is?
Well, he was in that he was in a punk band before his comedy days. I think called like Trenchmouth or something like that. Yeah,
didn't know.
Fair enough.
He was drummer for them. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Here's the reason why we couldn't have Jess on today. I could not subject her to this. The Silent Hill movie director claims multiple games are in the works.
You hear that? You hear yelling in the distance?
Oh yeah.
Just pain. Lots of pain. The comments were made during a recent French video interview translated by Reset Era, which director Christopher Gaines, isn't that? Oh, this is Christoph Gans. Christopher Gaines is Garth Brooks' alter ego. He claimed that there are currently multiple Silent Hill games in development by several teams. Gans directed the 2006 Silent Hill movie and has reportedly written the script for a new production. I don't know how Jess feels about the movie.
She does not like it. I watched it with her. Right. She does not like it.
Okay, so there we are.
Weird.
He says, quote, I know a bit about the next Silent Hill game. I work with the Silent Hill team, the original creators. I work in collaboration with Konami. He reportedly said, I'm working with the Silent Hill team, the original creators at Konami. There are several games in development as we speak. There are several teams on it with a big line of games. They will revive the franchise. I think they really they were really impressed of the success of the remakes of Resident Evil that are evidently exceptional games.
These answers sound weird, but okay. They sound
I agree.
strangely robotic.
I mean, it sounds like I think these are the bullet points that probably are handed to him, or when he's like, wait, why do they want to bring back Silent Hill? And his agent explains, listen, man, there's these games, Resident Evil, they sold a ton, and everyone's like panicking, like, man, how do we get some of that money? This company's like just continuously walking into gold mines with one remake after another. Why? They're like, why don't we do that? And as part of that, they want to make movies. And the director's like, okay, Resident Evil games, remakes. Like, he got like every other word there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, at least he seems to understand what happened, because this is what happened. It is about Resident Evil doing so well, obviously.
But there's a big difference between Resident Evil and Silent Hill, I think.
Yes, definitely. But you could echo that success with Silent Hill to a certain extent.
Any modicum of similar sort of success would be a net gain for this too.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's me personally, like, I love the creepy Silent Hill shit. So like, I want there to be a ton of this. I want there to be a lot of it. I think there's going to be a ton.
Yes. It's just like, when do they announce it?
Yeah.
There's got to be something at the Game Awards finally.
Yeah, I think so.
That's my bet.
We were hearing that there was something that was going to happen in September. That didn't happen. We heard that there would be something at an E3 2 years ago. Of course, that didn't happen. And so it's, how can it possibly be all these things are in the works
and quiet?
Yes. Obviously things are leaking, but how can they keep pushing back all of those announcements? So like, eventually you're like, one of them's going to be ready and you're just going to want to release them, even if everything else is not, right?
Or October 2024, there will be 11 Silent Hill games that come out at once.
Right. Exactly. And who knows? Maybe that's what they're thinking. It's that'd be wild. But we'll hear about it soon. Man, maybe the Game Awards, I guess. I feel like we do this with every event, but yeah.
It's fine.
We'll put it on the bingo card for sure.
Yeah, that, of course.
That's almost center square, man. That's almost center square at this point, right?
You think? I don't know, man.
Nothing.
Center Square is just going to be a Kojima appearance. That's the gimme
name drop.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, that's the first.
Right.
Was he also saying that there's going to be another Silent Hill movie? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I think he's saying that he's written the script for a new Silent Hill movie. Now, there definitely is Silent Hill stuff happening in Hollywood. That much I know for sure. I've heard that myself. And as part of that, there was also a game in the works. The side I was hearing it from is like there would be TV shows in addition to movies. So
okay, tap the brakes here a little bit.
Well,
yeah.
If you look on this director's IMDb, it says Untitled Silent Hill production. So perhaps there's another movie? Maybe?
Yep.
I feel like this director's also gotten better since that Silent Hill movie.
What's
we
the most
all
recently?
strive to get better, Jan. That is the goal.
He
Is
did
it not?
He's done 2 movies with my man Mark Dacascos.
Right. Okay.
But since then, he did like a Beauty and the Beast movie that I think at least looks better than the official Disney one.
I don't know if people loved that one though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, people really hung up on the dress.
His filmography on Wikipedia just straight up says "Return to Silent Hill" for 2023.
Man, is Only the Strong on Prime Video, Jan? We could watch some fucking Only the Strong, man. I would drop everything to watch Only the Strong with you, Jan.
I'll watch it twice.
Yes, me too.
I'll watch it twice, back to back.
Away. Okay, let's keep going. Valve quickly deletes Steamdeck video featuring a Switch emulator. This is a fun
that
one.
was awesome.
Valve posted in the... Yeah, what's up?
Oopsie
What'd you say?
doopsie.
Oopsie doopsie.
I just screamed the words oopsie doopsie. Yeah, it's not important.
Yeah, no, I
have my
appreciate
permission
that.
to continue.
Valve posted and then quickly deleted a promotional video for the Steam Deck, which featured a prominent Nintendo Switch emulator, Yuzu, on Saturday. Valve's newest promotional video for the Steam Deck featured the logo for the emulator. However, the trailer was quickly taken down and replaced with a new one. Emulators are not illegal. You could put Yuzu on anything, and you're fine. Yeah. This is still bad form for a company that sells video games to do to another company that sells video games.
Nintendo got mad at me for saying how many cat shines were in Bowser's Fury. So I bet Nintendo wasn't happy.
Right. Nintendo's probably like, or Valve's probably like, what's Nintendo going to do? Pull their business from Steam? But still, you're like, yeah,
got a point.
Obviously. Yeah. You don't want to do this to a competitor, rival, a colleagues,
They release
whatever.
some games. Didn't Portal just come out for Switch? So, they have some.
Well, yeah, but that's Valve. Valve controls that. You're like, yeah. So, fair enough. And then finally, this happened right before we went live. Meta is scooping up more game studios. Shout out to Steven Totillo, who wrapped up 2 of them here. Meta is buying Camouflage, whose former PSVR exclusive Iron Man VR is now coming to Quest. So I'm going to play that game finally. And Armature Studio, who made Resident Evil 4 VR, and whose founders worked on Metroid Prime. So that's pretty cool. And then Facebook also acquired Twisted Pixel, which is the Splosion Man studio.
No. Man.
Yep. I've not... Splosion Man is one of those games where I played a lot of that when it came out, and I just don't think about it ever. Even though I like it. I like it a lot. I just don't ever think about Splosion Man.
I just think of the fun song at the end all the time.
Sure, yeah. That's was the...
a song about exploding?
Donuts, right?
Yeah.
Am I imagining?
Rings of Power?
Yes, yes. Donuts are rings of power.
Yeah, exactly. Those are
technically
rings of power. As a married man, those are my rings of power.
Technically rings of flour, but I digress.
Very good.
All right, let's stop this. No more news. I've got nothing else for you.
All right. Well, after that terrible joke, I apologize, but I also don't. Let's take a quick Ricky break. We'll read some emails because now I can get back in there. And there's so much spam. Much spam. And no, you cannot advertise on our website. See you soon. I feel very well rested because of the 3-day weekend. Thankfully, we had it off because of Indigenous Peoples Day. Used to be called Columbus Day, but fuck that guy. I'd also be completely fine also having it be Indigenous Peoples Day plus Columbo Day.
Right.
Oh.
$10 plus cats.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
The cat in that situation. Absolutely.
Exactly. The biggest ally, Columbo.
Columbo, friend to all except for the elite who murder people.
And then I just want to ask and pose this question to the expert panel we have collected here, and then the folks listening on at home live or the archive. I love Columbo because my pops would watch it, and then I just watch over his shoulder. And then I have a slight inkling that he was trying to influence me to become a detective growing up. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that. But why has Columbo blown up across the internet?
It must. Question. I mean, being on Peacock must help, but there's all sorts of shows that are like randomly on all these streaming things right now. I know I started watching it because my friend found like a list of like the 100 best TV episodes ever. And like Columbo episode was like
Spielberg episode. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The first one. So like we watched that. We watched all these other like I Love Lucy episodes and a Mary Tyler Moore. And then we ended up actually we kept watching Columbo episodes. We discovered that we loved it. So I feel like one meme started and like people were like, I guess I'll watch this because I have Peacock or I have a free trial. And then they're like, actually this is great. And then they just kept watching it.
I think it piled up for me. Because I watched it before it was on Peacock. It was on IMDb's like free TV thing, the ad-supported
thing.
Yep.
It was. I remember Gary Whitta was making an effort to get him and who plays the Hulk,
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
That's such a good
to remake Columbo with Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
That would work so well.
He was like serious, and he was like trying to make this happen. It was like it was also like a social media thing, like him trying to campaign on that. I'm like, that seems cool from what I know of Columbo, which was very little. And then I also saw that like the Spielberg episode of that show was considered very good, and Columbo would pop up, and like I'm like, I think I just like Peter Falk as well. He's like a very likable actor, and I love The Princess Bride and all this stuff. And I think that was enough to pile up. And then I saw Knives Out. And I was like, right. I really like this genre. What are they doing here? Like, what are their influences? And it's like, we're going to show you how the crime happened first. And that comes directly from Columbo. I'm like, it does? I didn't know that. I'm going to go watch an episode right now. I turned on that Spielberg episode. It was free on imdb.tv or whatever the fuck it is. And it was, I watched probably like 30 episodes now. I haven't seen them all, but it's one of those shows where it's like it's very easy to just put on a weekend because they're all like movie length, right? They're
about an hour.
Yeah, some of them
75 minutes.
Some of them are 75. Some of them are actually longer. But yeah, they're all about there.
Yeah,
I also think like Columbo exists in this interesting sort of like category where it's old enough to seem old, but also relevant enough to young people of this generation, where it's just like
mythological.
Becker.
It's like this Goldilocks zone. Yes, yes. It's just like Becker.
No,
that was the next sentence about to come out of my mouth.
I'm mad at Becker because they stole the Jadzia Dax from Deep Space Nine and they had to kill her off in season 6.
Hey, Mike, it is not normal to be mad at Decker. I'm sorry, it's 2022. The last sentence on Earth I was expecting to hear from someone on this podcast was, "I'm mad at Decker." Or
first off, it's Becker.
Becker.
That's
how memorable it is. Yeah.
Fuck Becker. So there.
Yeah, fuck Becker. All right, fair enough. Yeah.
I love Ted Danson. All right, for some reason, Becker
I like
just
Ted Danson too.
Clicked.
Sure. Yeah,
but we have cheered.
Still it's a very strange match for you, I think. But either way,
we learn a lot about each other. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I think Columbo it like fits in that perfect Goldilocks zone for a lot of people. I think in a similar way, not one-to-one comparison, but the resurgence that Sopranos has been having seems to like, it reminds me of that kind of relationship too.
I think a lot of people got HBO Max and like went through all the new stuff. And they're like, I have this. What should I watch? Sopranos. I think the other thing, Mike, you might have like nailed it actually, because every villain on Columbo is high class. They are upper class, and it's kind of like, it's maybe nice these days to feel like someone is capable of punishing them, and it requires this mythological angel detective who doesn't see, like, talks about his wife and you never see her, and he's been driving the same car for 40 years. Yes, he's this schlub, and he sees through everybody. It's like, this is like really pleasant to see people get their comeuppance, even if they're like relatively normal versions of these upper class people. They're always people that can usually bend the system to their will until Columbo comes along, and good stuff.
It's very. I'm speaking of Angela Lansbury now. Like, should I watch Murder, She Wrote? I must have at least similar vibes, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a little sadder though. Like where Columbo would have like fun moments, like, oh, this person's just dead. Oh, there's nothing whimsical about it. They're just dead.
They're just dead.
I also think there's like a curious amount of relatively interesting cameos in Columbo too, right?
Oh yeah.
Where like, you know, you just sort of piece that all together and you can kind of extract the whole generation of culture a little bit.
You're going to want to go find the Leonard Nimoy episode because like, of course you want to see Leonard Nimoy.
I was going to say it. Yeah. Columbo actually gets mad in that episode, and it's like it's so great because like it's like when your fun uncle gets mad. It's like, oh shit, it's serious.
Yeah.
I could also see the guy that plays the Netflix, I guess now Disney Plus Daredevil to be a Columbo. I could see that. Charlie.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo's too perfect for me, but yes, I could see him pulling that off.
Yeah, there's somebody. Mark Ruffalo just makes so much sense. Yeah, I guess if it wasn't that, I'd be like, are you sure?
What's his face from New Girl? Jake Johnson or whatever. He played.
I know who you're talking about.
Wait, the guy is that the one
Spider-Man.
that did Spider-Man?
Yes.
That
guy. He has like enough of a gremlin factor. Yeah, he has enough of a gremlin factor to do.
I could play Schlubby real good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Funny enough. Mike, go ahead, please. No. You're a guest. You're a guest. You got the rings of power.
Pouting
because I forgot her name. Who's the girl in New Girl?
Zoe Deschanel.
Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, anybody who could play a love interest for her, I don't know if I could really buy them as Columbo.
Me?
Yeah, what are you trying to say there, MVP?
Yeah,
what does that mean?
MVP.
I'm saying that Columbo's a schlub, and like Mrs. Columbo, we don't see her, but I assume she's like not in a B way. I assume she's very homey.
She is a stunner. She has everything together. That's why they're such a good match.
You know they made a Mrs. Columbo spinoff, and it starred Captain Janeway from Voyager. It did not do very well. And I think they retconned it. They didn't make it canon anymore, but like those episodes exist.
Man.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Okay. All right. Well,
Mrs. Columbo, look it up.
You know what?
I also didn't know Zoe Deschanel married one of like the property bros.
Yeah, after Death Cab,
that's
right. Cutie Guy didn't go well.
What do you guys think of when you first hear Zoe Deschanel's name? I think of that early iPhone commercial where she talks to Siri and she's like, it's like raining outside, and she goes, Siri, is that rain? And I'm like, oh man,
I remember that. But it's Elf. For me, it's just Elf.
Okay, sure.
It's Elf for New Girl, yeah.
And her just being like,
I think of Siri.
You know, that voice.
Just the manic pixie energy, right?
Yeah, I just think of my type. Anyway. Emails.
There you go.
Emails.
That's awesome, Jan.
Let me tell you how influential that the whole dress of 500 Days of Summer was influential to my early 20s. Did I need to wear a messenger bag that hurt my back? No. Did I start listening to the Smiths and hang out in elevators and talk to doe-eyed women? Maybe.
I could get away with it. If I could get away with it, yes.
Anyway, Kevin in Wilcoxon writes, whenever I go to New York City, I always see a bunch of cars, but not once have I seen a gas station. What are these cars running on? Kevin in Wilcoxon. I saw one gas station.
Coffee.
The Gabagool.
On the Gabagool? Yeah, sure.
Liquid Gabagool. That's what's in the tank.
It is mostly oil.
This came up while we were there. I was freaking out about there not being any yellow cabs in Brooklyn. And everyone, I guess I wasn't transparent enough about how, there's a lot of taxi industry in my family. And people were like, why is fucking Bakalar so obsessed with cabs? It's so weird.
Those medallions paid for my school.
Some of it.
Well,
I was blown away that there was no yellow cabs in Brooklyn. Like, they've effectively been deleted from Brooklyn. They're in the city proper. Here's the thing, though, right? That question about the gas came up. Yeah. Someone who said it. Someone was like, we were in an Uber or something, and someone was like, "Where does everyone fill these up?"
I think it was probably me. It was probably me.
The thing is that there are gas stations in Manhattan. There's just very, very sort of positioned outside of the city, proper. I don't know how many are on the island proper. I'd say only a handful, but there are ones in Queens and Brooklyn and stuff like that where people almost wind up inevitably because a lot of the taxi cabs sit in garages outside of the city.
Well, good to know. I did see one. Jake writes in, "Hey all, been recently getting into coffee and wondered how you have yours. All I know is Starbucks and instant coffee, and I have been told they are trash. Thanks, Jake."
Yeah, don't talk to coffee people directly. You gotta avoid eye contact, walk
Don't
around
talk
them.
to me. That's right.
Yeah.
Just don't get out of my face.
It's funny because we had breakfast like the first. Were you there for that breakfast on Wednesday, Grubb?
No, I think
No.
overslept it. Yeah.
Maybe it was me, Jan, Tamor, and Reichert. And
That sounds right.
we were drinking the coffee, and I'm like, yo, this isn't the worst. It's not the best, but it ain't bad. It tastes pretty good. And fucking Jan almost like pushed out from away from the table and was sort of just like, this is fine. It's okay. What did you say exactly?
I was like, this is all right. This gets good, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Someone was asking you about coffee. I think it might have been your friend on the last day or something. And you started being like, it matters, the freshness of the beans, the type of water you're using, the temperature you brew at. And I'm like, oh shit, he went to serious coffee mode right there. I'm like, oh man, this might have some answers for me if I'm like ever struggling with my espresso machine. I don't know.
I blame all of this on Will Smith because of those.
You sounded a lot like Will Smith.
Because of those early tested videos, I bought every single thing that man brought to the show. And then I lost half of it in a move. I got really upset, and I'm like, I really only need a V60. And then I've been eyeing a stupid espresso machine that's not gonna fit on my counter for.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not gonna fit at all. It's not. My house isn't plumbed for that.
At dinner on what's that, Mike?
I don't drink coffee. I feel kind of bad about it.
No.
Yeah,
you're a better man for
person.
it.
No,
Okay,
but
well,
I think I'm getting the craving. I literally had a dream last night that I was like driving to get coffee, and of course, because I'm driving in a dream, I can't see where I'm going, and I crash. But I just remember like craving coffee. I might get like my first coffee in 10 years today and see how.
Oh, that's interesting. What do you think you're gonna go with? Do you have like anything in mind, or?
I want to go. There's a local coffee shop by me. I'll maybe just go get like a small, regular, maybe black.
No,
I'll just do
stop. Jan, Mike says he thinks he might go get his first coffee in 10 years today. What do you recommend?
First, go to Yelp, search third wave coffee because you want to get the bougie stuff. All right.
Wait, third wave? What does that even mean?
Third wave coffee is what you want to get.
Time.
What did you do to me, Jeff? I had a plan.
Listen, you're bought in now.
Things.
There is no ejection button. You're bought in.
Okay, so
I want to see what happens when I search this. Okay, go ahead.
First wave kind of denotes like, your diner coffee, your mom and pop shops. Second wave is generally like your Starbucks, your Pete's, the big chains, your Coffee Bean. Third wave is when all the bougie boys come out. Bougie boys, girls, and bees, and they're doing science, and they look like they won't give you the time of day. But also, I just wanted to show off this bad boy. This is like a manual espresso machine.
And you put your penis
Just call it what it is.
What?
It's a coffee fucker. Just call it what it is. I see what you have there. Yep. I see what it does.
We know what you do with that.
It just plows those bees.
Yeah, it really fucks them up.
This thing, oh my God, let me tell you. Like, you get the PSI on this bad boy. It's right there. Get some good pressure.
Wait, what has to happen to a coffee bean?
We gotta grind it, dog.
I realize that, Jen, but I'm saying like,
Take it out
why?
to dinner first?
No.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's what a contraption.
Tray sample, dogs. You open this bad boy like it's an espresso basket.
Okay,
and then,
that's what it's like.
Well, yeah. Okay,
what are you
hold
doing?
on.
Okay.
The handles are down. I can't.
Jeez, take it out to dinner first.
In the same way that I assume Mike Minotti talks about wine, it's 100% me and coffee. It's terrible sickness.
Look, it's funny because I searched third wave coffee, and the two bougiest places in my town popped up, number 1 and 2. And I have to confirm, it's probably one of them, at least that I've been to, was a really, really, really solid cup of coffee here. I'll never forget the look on your face after the espresso at dinner when I'm like sipping it. I'm like, this seems fine. And then you were just like, I think you were like, this is actually trash. I think you said something.
Oh, so the place I was going to go to is third wave, but they close at 5, so I might not be able to get them. Maybe
See, okay, that's why you know it's a good coffee shop, because they know you shouldn't have coffee after 5 p.m.
Well, yeah, they've run out. They've run out of their fresh supply.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's when I need it, because that's when I really get tired. Is right after work, and sometimes I have an urge to take a nap, and I sometimes replace
some of that pop with coffee. Do that.
It's probably a very good idea.
Try with some oat milk.
Right.
Try with some oat milk, because almond milk is very wasteful to the environment.
Is it? And oat milk
I
is
love
just
it.
better.
Almond milk takes so much water, dog. You know how much water you need for one nut?
Water dogs?
You can't talk about almond milk with someone who's in California. That is
They're
honestly
destroying
destroying
my
their
state.
environment. They are destroying California.
Wait a second, okay? I'm uninformed about the almond milk situation.
This is a video game podcast. We have to read a video game email at least once.
It takes like 40 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of almond milk or some shit like that.
For real?
It's an obscene amount.
Because almonds are a really water intensive nut.
They suck water. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you also need to then use the water in the milk. It's oat milk is really.
Okay, so I'm gonna get Burger King coffee instead today. Gotcha.
Honestly, if you had to go with
half wave. Yeah,
if you
0.5 wave.
If you have to go get coffee from a fast food establishment, I would highly recommend McDonald's. McDonald's
has good coffee.
I've heard that.
They've done a lot of good.
To me, though.
Okay, yeah, because they actually brew fresh pots.
Yes, McDonald's actually treats their coffee pretty good. Deb, we answered this question. I take mine as a double espresso, black, nothing else. That's what I got at the restaurant. You're right.
Okay.
It wasn't a very good espresso.
I'm sorry. I'll take sometimes if I'm just at home, just a cup of drip, just black. I'm going to an establishment, a third wave coffee joint, perhaps. I'll just take espresso with some sparkling water on the side because I'm a little fancy lad. Also, when I'm feeling a little adventurous, I want to give myself a little treat. You get some horchata, put a shot of espresso over that shit.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I love horchata. That's awesome.
Oof, man. All right. Next email. Oh, also recommendations. Yeah, just search third wave coffee and then try making it at home, because you'll notice the difference from doing like a normal coffee machine drip to like a pour over type of dealio. And if you don't want to shell out for a gooseneck kettle, just use a thermos with a spout, and then you can get the same kind of controlled action. There you go. Also, weigh your beans, damn it. And then what you should do after you weigh your beans, spray the beans down with some water, because a little bit of water reduces the amount of static electricity when they get grounded up.
What? Wait,
what do you care about that?
Okay, never mind.
Because
I have no
these beans can't be charged. These beans can't be charged.
It causes cancer. It's static.
There's way too
beans.
much electricity in my coffee this morning.
Yeah. I got shocked by my coffee.
Yeah, electrocute yourself to wake yourself up instead of drink coffee.
You see this? I was a little lazy today, and there's a little bit of chafe in my coffee grinds here. You know?
Oh, so you're saying you don't want resin in your
you don't want coffee chafe.
Cup
that related to the electricity?
Yes. Yes.
Static, so they're clinging to the thing. Okay, what a weird thing to care about, but that's fine. You know.
You did it, everybody.
So
I'll try oat milk. I'll try oat milk this week and report back.
You'll like it.
How about that?
You will enjoy oat milk.
I think I've had it. I think it's fine. Yeah.
Make sure you get the Khalifa brand, because the Oatly, all of that shit's too sweet.
Khalifa brand? What?
Khalifa, man, you know.
DJ Khalifa brand?
We can't keep talking about coffee.
Khalifa
I'm just gonna
Adams
go.
brand?
I would buy coffee from Khalifa.
Me too. I absolutely would.
100%. What a nice man. Anyway,
boy too, man. We should have him on here soon.
We should. Okay, yeah. You know what, Khalif? If you're listening, someone get this to Khalif. Let's get him on the Bombcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jason from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, writes in and goes, "Dear Bombers, now that Steam Decks are more readily available, I was thinking about getting one. However, I am completely PC gaming illiterate. I was wondering if you could speak a bit about the Steam Deck's ease of use or lack thereof, and if not knowing anything about PC gaming would make a Steam Deck worth it or not. Also, I am new to the game emulator scene and would want to play some old games on the Steam Deck, but know nothing about the process. Any words of wisdom would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for all you do. Jason from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, sent from my iPhone."
Yeah, listen, you're going to be fine. The best way I could explain this is, you know that asshole friend you have that never likes to try new things because they are like so stuck in their ways? I have one of them. Yeah. This guy's worse than even Dan or Mike in terms of that stuff. Yeah, and he got a Steam Deck, and he's like, oh, he's like, I bought a few Steam games because I would play on the Steam Deck. It's really easy. I'm like, how many? He's already bought like 25 games because it's like so easy just to find yourself playing games on this thing. It's you can go from 0 to 60 in terms of being a PC guy with a Steam Deck in no time at all. It's really simple on that side of things. The emulator side, if you are willing to follow some guides on YouTube, it's also really easy. Most of it is one click, and it's going to be set up as long as you provide your own ROMs. But like, you know, again, following a step-by-step guide for all those like slightly trickier portions is a matter of clicking and dragging, and that's it. It kind of right now it couldn't be easier. And this thing is so supported. It's so popular. It's actually only going to get easier and easier as time goes on. So yeah, there is really no reason not to get a Steam Deck if you are someone who enjoys playing games, you know, in a handheld form factor around your house, or if you're traveling, whatever. It is the best way to be doing that stuff right now. It really is.
I think the most attractive thing about it is the ease of use and just how intuitive it is. I mean, it really
consoleized the experience.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest achievement. Like, yes, miniaturizing like a decent computer into the palm of your hands is like one thing, but the fact that they made it, you know, this sort of like universal language and turn that and watered that experience down into an easy to use sort of thing, I think is just as impressive. Because let's be honest, there's a bit of a barrier for non-PC gaming people.
100%.
This more or less erases that.
Even with, like, I'll have friends super confused, like going to a Costco or Best Buy asking, which gaming laptop should I buy? And then it's, you know, sometimes it's hard to advise with that case because the pre-builts that you could get at a big box retailer, some of them aren't as modular and you can't pull stuff out or change stuff up.
It's a crapshoot. It really is.
Yeah.
And then the Steam Deck is so self-contained and consistent in terms of its specs and experience and the OS, that it's like it completely mitigates all of those issues. I really would recommend a Steam Deck over a gaming laptop almost in every case, unless you really need a high-end PC for some reason. And in that case, you probably don't want a laptop anyhow. So, yeah, Steam Deck just completely gets rid of the need for a gaming laptop, in my opinion.
And I mean, yeah, you can always hook it up to like a dock or a USB-C hub, throw on a keyboard, throw it on a monitor, and be good to go.
Go to town,
get your Dota on. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Next email comes from Tonio. Hey, Bomb Crew. I was thinking recently about how the DMV is kind of like the final boss of standing in line. It made me wonder, can y'all think of any other things that are the final boss of some other situation? Love seeing the crew together for the Bombathon and have been enjoying a lot of content lately. Thank you, Tonio.
Man, I've stood in some long lines in Disney World, so I don't know if DMV is really the final boss of standing in lines. I've been in some
TSA line at the airport. It's pretty stressful. Is that like maybe more?
It's more stressful, but not as long.
It's like a mid-boss, you know?
Yeah.
I think Thanksgiving for me has sort of become like the final boss of familial discourse.
Okay.
The whole year leads up to this.
Interesting.
It's usually right after Election Day, so we're really fired up.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving is the final boss of cooking meals for the year, right?
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of people using 2 ovens at the same time.
Totally.
How's that even possible? How these 2 get in my house? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's a rough one.
I wish I had 2 ovens.
Need a lot of lives for that. Wow. Let's just say that.
2 ovens would switch up everything, man.
My
2 ovens is a game changer. Yeah.
Just get a pellet grill, then you basically have another oven that you can use for that, and you can also use it for smoking stuff. It's great. I got a pellet grill, and I love
Jeff,
it.
get a smoker at your Brother Ash guy, and Chad is also saying so. Okay, all right, I'll do it.
Man,
I have like weird respect for smoker people. It's awesome.
Indeed.
It rules. It rules.
I know, they're a better class of people. I agree, Bakalar.
Yeah.
I turned 35, and it's like all right, time to get into whiskey and to buy a smoker and stuff. And I don't regret it at all. It's fantastic. Yeah, now that part has come to me finally.
You can go the dark way too, right? Like you can start becoming like a cigar smoker, like one of these freaks, and it's just like, be careful. I would way rather you smoke some brisket than like, you know, think you have to smoke a cigar and drink like brandy or something.
You should make a banner: smoke brisket, not cigars.
Yes, you guys love it.
You guys know that Vinny, they were making a brisket at his house the whole day that he came to come visit us, and he had to leave right before it was done, so he didn't get to eat any brisket before he left.
Oh, I did not hear that terrible story.
Yeah, he talked about it on their podcast, and I'm like listening to it while mowing the lawn over the weekend, and I'm like, no, Vinny, stay and eat the brisket. What are you talking about?
I gotta imagine they saved some. Yeah, I gotta imagine Vinny had plenty of that brisket that night.
Fair enough.
I hope he had some.
Cooking in your house and making the house smell so good all day.
It's tough.
And then you have to leave.
to walk away from that.
Yeah.
It's tough to be like, all right, I'm going to Brooklyn now.
Yeah.
I'm going to cross 2 rivers.
I'm going to go get on a bus. I'm going to go get on a public transit bus. That's what I'm going to do.
That is a god among men. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
truly.
Man.
All
that
right.
kind of discipline.
Highlight.
Wow.
All right. 2 quick emails before we call it a day here. Hey, Bomb Crew. I have to know. Why do Jeff Bakalar and Grubb pronounce it Pokey-Mon? Is this a regional thing? An age thing? A Jeff thing? Is it just something that people who don't like Pokemon do unconsciously? Thank you for the great show each week. Hope you are having fun in person in New York. Josh.
Grubb, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's as with anything that I don't hear the difference. You could say the 2 versions again, Jan.
Pokemon.
Oh, I think I alternate. I think I say
which one do
Pokemon
I say Pokemon?
Yeah.
You say Pokemon instead of Pokemon. You're
Sometimes
one step away from saying Pokemans.
Okay, yeah. Mike, no, you get yelled at about this all the time on our podcast too. Don't try to act like this is just a me thing.
Yeah.
Sean yells at us both about this. Yes.
I feel like that's not right. I feel like you're the one who makes mistakes, not me.
So I've definitely noticed. I've caught myself. Obviously, I said Pokemon once, and then I self-inflicted. I basically I slam my finger in the drawer just to make sure I never do that again. So I don't say that, of course, but I do say Pokemon. But now I will try and shift over to Pokemon.
This is difficult because I hear it in my head before I say it as pocket monsters, and then it's
I don't hear that.
Pokemon. I'm trying to say I'm like make those 2 words go together, so it's like Pokemon. Pokemon doesn't feel like I don't know. It just doesn't come across that way.
I think you just got to disrespect that E. You have to
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Just kind of put it under your boot a little bit.
Yeah, Pokemon.
It's the big theme song, though. Pokemon? It's not Poka. They go pretty hard with the E, I feel like. Gotta catch 'em. Oh, it's you and me. I know it's our destiny. Pokemon. Oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Mark.
what's the right way, then? I mean, it seems like Pokemon and Pokemon are both okay.
Pokemon.
I think they're both okay. I think this is a case of tomato.
Yeah,
Cat wants us to say Pokemon.
That's like splitting hairs. Oh, maybe that's a Pokemon, not Pokemon. Oh,
Pokemon.
Not
Pokemon. Poka.
Not soft A, but
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Long A. Pokemon.
You know what? It's just nice to see.
All right, I'll do it.
It's just nice to hear that that Pokemon freaks aren't like Mario freaks and actually don't care.
Oh, they're freaks about a lot of different stuff.
But it's nice that they don't care about Mario, and that's cool.
Ask them about Vaporeon. You'll find out that they're freaks.
Oh.
All right. I mean, look, at least in terms of what they call their universe, Pokemon, it's okay. It works. Interchangeable. I bless them.
You just gotta say it real fast, and then they can't stop Pokemon.
It's nice.
All right. Last email comes from Adam. And then Adam Adam has a very extensive... Adam did the work here. Mike Minotti's enraged right now. He's leaving.
Where'd he go?
Excuse me.
I got my Vaporeon on it, that's all.
Okay.
I'm learning a lot of the names with the cards, I gotta tell you.
Oh, God. Excuse me. Sorry. Too much coffee.
Okay?
Too much coffee.
No such
He's
thing.
allergic.
I was just thinking of Vaporeon. Sorry.
You just learned he was allergic to coffee.
Can you imagine?
What a punishment that would be. Oh,
God.
I was going to make a joke. I would have to ask your permission, so I'm just going to skip past it.
Just go ahead. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
I'm not normally this color. I was just drinking coffee this whole time.
It's okay,
Sorry,
everyone.
Jen.
I let Jeff say it. It's
Everyone
okay.
laugh.
I'm sorry.
Everyone laughs.
I'm sorry.
With him. Laugh with Jed.
Hello, Bombers. While watching the new Mario Brothers movie trailer a few times over, something wasn't sounding right to me. And I'm not talking about the quality of Chris Pratt's Mario. More on that later. Amazing things can be found out with simple math. I decided to take a look at the screen time and voice time, how long each character's lines are, and some interesting results came to light. I took the approximate voice time and screen time of each character. I then calculated the rough percentage of how much of each character's screen time they're talking, grunting, etc. The results are below, and take away what you will. Screen time in seconds, accurate to plus or minus 1 second. Kamek, 8. Main Penguin, 26. Toad, 15. Luigi, 4. Bowser, 36. Mario, 35. Waluigi, 0.
Good.
Voice time, Kamek, 4 seconds. Main Penguin, 8. Toad, 6. Luigi, 3. All nonverbal. Bowser, 15. Mario, 11. 7 seconds of which are only grunts and nonverbal reactions. This was the only character to have such a high percentage of nonverbal to voice lines, not counting Luigi. Waluigi, 0. Percentage of screen time with audio, rounded to the nearest 1%. Kamek, 50. Main Penguin, 31. Toad, 40. Luigi, 75. Bowser, 42. Mario, all verbal and nonverbal, 31. Mario silent, 69. Mario voiced lines, 11%. Waluigi, 0%.
That's a difficult stat, that last one, to really extract meaningful, information there. But I respect the effort.
I found it odd how the hero of the movie had the fewest lines among principal characters in the trailer. Lots
we
of
know
love.
Why.
Adam, P.S. I included Waluigi for Dan's benefit.
Yeah. We know why.
This is my
look,
inkling.
I think Bowser's the star of this movie.
I think it's going to be the rest of the crew instead. I think it's going to be an instance where like they've changed scenes with Mario and then to have him have less lines, and they're going to feature Luigi more, Princess Peach more, the Penguin more.
It's like Bob's Burgers, right? Like Bob is essential to that show, but nowhere near the most entertaining character.
I think that's fair.
I would also want to see a comparison. So go do this for every other movie trailer, real quick, guy, and then come back.
Every single one ever.
Yeah, and like I think it's more likely in certain in a lot of movies where the main character is more likely to be on the screen even when they're not talking and when there's nothing else happening with the audio, because they are going to be framed. Like, we need to see them to have context for everything else that's happening. So I wonder if that's just what's happening here.
Yeah, because I'd imagine like Mad Max Fury Road, the character Max doesn't talk a lot in that, right?
Sure.
Right. Yes.
That might be a special case, but even still, in like a normal movie, like how much is Luke Skywalker talking, even though he's on screen all the time? Like
or like John Wick, right? Keanu doesn't have any notable lines from John Wick, I think.
He said, "I'll be back." That's where that's from.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I just learned that. Yeah.
God, I love K-Mech.
But thank you, Adam, for that exhaustive trailer breakdown.
Putting in the work.
Don't listen to Jeff Grubb. Please don't do this with every single trailer out there.
Please do not.
Please don't. Please do
not.
However, when the second trailer eventually rolls around, I would like if you could do the same math for us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks to everyone that wrote an email today. You can send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. Rest assured, I can actually read them now. If you are one of the people sending spam or have signed up the Bombcast email address to spam, why? Anyway.
Please don't.
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out and thanks to our most valuable friend, Mike Minotti, for I was telling Mike this when everyone else was gone. I think Mike is like the best friend of the site right now.
Oh,
I think so.
I think so. I feel safe saying that. It's him and Boniello.
People say friends of the show all the time, but do they mean it in the way they mean the MVF?
Wow.
Yeah.
Most valuable
MVF.
friend.
Like, do you have any Tonys?
Not yet, but I could sing.
All right.
How come you didn't pack Mike in your carry-on? What's the deal, bro?
I thought it was a package deal.
I forgot he was in there. So
Yeah,
I just left him in the hotel room the entire time.
We shipped a lot of stuff back to you. It would not have been a problem.
Right. Oh yeah, where's Mike? Oh shit. Okay.
Mike was.
Did you not poke air holes in that?
He was just sitting in the hotel room this whole time, just waiting for Jeff Grubb to come back. He never came back.
Yep. Nope.
I'm just thinking about the Great Muppet Caper, where they're like the Muppets are inside like the pet carriers, and then like Martin Short or somebody just throws them out the airplane when they're their destination. That's gonna be me.
That's a top 20 movie of all time. I'm gonna say. I feel comfortable saying that.
So of course it is.
I love
it. Oh, you guys should have done some Muppet Take Manhattan bullshit. Although close enough.
We ended up in Manhattan. We did. I think
Merry Melodies was our live stream. I think that's
any excuse to have Lucy do her Kermit the Frog imitation that she has to start with Kermit the Frog here.
Yeah, that's how she
started that way. Yeah.
Gotta say the thing.
Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
Go to GamesBeat, gamesbeat.com. That's where we're me and our reg staff over there. They are working hard. They are working covering some kind of meta event while I was goofing around here. So thank you to them. But otherwise, I'm doing stuff with Jeff Grubb over on our Game Mess channel. That's Last of the Nintendogs and Game Mess Decides. And I've been on Twitch and Twitter as Tolkoto, Tolko.
Did you plug 90s Disney? Did I just blink out?
Oh, thank you. 90s Disney. My 90s Disney. Good job, Jeff. My 90s Disney podcast that I do with my brothers, which is about all sorts of Disney stuff from the 90s, theme parks, movies. Good show. Our last episode was on Innoventions, which had a really big Sega showcase area in the mid 90s at the height of like the Genesis and stuff like that. So we talked about that quite a bit in our last episode. So there you go.
Game Mess Mornings resumes tomorrow, right, Jeff?
That's right. We got Andy Robinson on tomorrow from VGC. So now we're going to stop just taking his stories. We're actually going to have him come on here and talk. And
there we go.
It's good. Should be fun. Should be a good show.
Can't wait to put a name or a face to the name.
I've had a lot of conversations with him and never actually spoken to him, even face to face over video. So this will be fun.
I met him at the summer game.
Yes, I remember him saying he was going to be there. I'm like, Mike will be there to hang out with them.
It was where I met Jan, actually. So, hey, how about that?
Yeah, I remember that. I will remember that day forever. We also have Eternal Darkness coming back up. Dan playing through Sonic 06. Sekiro Choa resumes. Voicemail Dump Truck will happen on Thursday, as always. So will UPF. But also tomorrow, live, make good here, we will be doing a Film and 40s live of Roadhouse. Because
God help us.
The tech fell apart at the end of that stream that we could not do it. Also, eventually, the Great Giant Bombathon will be archived. Again, if you missed it, the VOD is still available up on Twitch. It is eventually going to process its way through YouTube. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. Yeah. It's still sitting at a crispy 360p, and I threw that in yesterday morning. So,
it's got to cook. Got to cook a little longer.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. But until then, and until next week, this has been the Giant Bombcast. I've been Jan Ochoa. He's been Jeff Grubb. He's been Jeff Bakalar. He's been Mike Minotti. And you at home have been incredibly attractive. We'll see you next week.
Giant Bombcast is hosted and live produced by Jan Ochoa, with support from Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, Jess O'Brien, Lucy James, Timur Hussein, Jason A. Stryker, Matthew Rory, and me, Jeff Bakalar. Our theme music is provided by Tom Monda. Our logo is designed by Dave Schopenek, and you can find him online with the handle @DaveSavedTheDay. Justin Vachon is our sweet little art boy. And thank you so much for listening. Of course, a kiss on the cheek to you at home.
Mwah.
Hey.